Tell me when will you be mine? Good evening, football fans, and welcome to London, home of the London Junior Mustangs. I am Ron Ferwerda. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. I am joined by...
I am Zachary Beta-Shamai.
We are coaches with the London Junior Mustang Junior Varsity team. We are thrilled to be here at Alumni Field here in the beautiful city of London, Ontario, on a Friday night to bring you the very first ever OSFL Playoff game here in the province. Enthusiastic crowd here at Alumni Field for the very first ever OSFL Varsity Football Playoff game here. The Junior Mustangs and the Cambridge Lions. Mustangs in white, purple pants. Cambridge in their traditional all red with gold helmets. Zach, games like this usually come down to the turnover battle and the offensive line play. What do you hope to see tonight?
Well, we know we're going to see a tight matchup. We saw these two teams face off about in week 5. Came down to the wire. Cambridge missing a few key players. That game was in Cambridge. I'm a former offensive lineman myself, so I know this game's going to happen in the trenches. When we talk the London Junior Mustangs, especially this UAT team, they have a ferocious defensive front who are going to get after the ball, so it's all about can Cambridge hold up against that front seven. I can't wait to see what happens tonight, Ron.
And again, that first game, Cambridge and London, it was played in Cambridge at the Jacob Hesper High School in Cambridge. It came down. It was in overtime. Mac Baker with a 106-yard interception return to seal the game. Cambridge was missing quite a few players in that game. Mustangs had a lot of penalties in that game. I want to see which team can keep their composure long enough. This is an emotional game. It's a physical game. It's London. It's Cambridge. It's OSFL Varsity Finals. Here we go. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else here but here in London on a Friday night.
And you mentioned the play of Mac Baker in that game. What I'm so excited for in this game is we are not only seeing stars of the OSFL today, but we are seeing future stars of the OUA. Mac Baker going to be playing at Western, and no doubt plenty of other players on both sides of the field we're going to be watching for years to come at the university level. So, folks, wherever you are watching, take note of these names. There are some studs on this field that you are going to be watching and hearing for years to come.
Yeah, and, I'll give you a couple of names, Marcus Robinson, number 44, captain for the defense, plays defensive end for the Junior Mustangs. He's a big kid, 6'4", 245, 250 pounds, great motor on him, out of the high school of London South. Isaac White, another South graduate. Ben Kverjovic, who was an outstanding player at the U18 Canada Cup last week, Mr. Blackson won Defensive MVP game number 1. And Wes McLennan, the linebacker out of St. Joe's. I called it Parkside last time, and I got all kinds of flack about that. Out of St. Joe's High School in St. Thomas, he was the defensive MVP of the second game. So a lot of defensive representations here for the Mustangs. They've really hung their hat on their defense this year.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right there. But as we mentioned, that game in Cambridge, the Lions were missing some key players against what I believe was a fairly strong, fairly fully rostered Junior Mustangs team. And one of the hardest things to do in sports, and specifically football, is to beat a team twice, but London's at home. There's a beautiful crowd here. It's a great evening. The heat wave earlier in the week has broken. It is as good a temperature as you could get, so we are in store for a great game.
Captains were at midfield. I miss who won the toss. I think London's going to be receiving. I'm not 100% sure. Not sure what we're waiting for the officials to start the game here. Just Cambridge kind of bouncing around. Oh. So what we're going to do, folks, is we're just going to talk about it a little bit in a second here. We're going to be honoring a moment of silence for our friend and our colleague, Coach KJ Kennedy. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about Coach KJ. Coach KJ and I started the broadcasting gig about 7 years ago. We were doing a triple bill for the OFC. It was a hot summer, August weekend in Hamilton. Started doing the broadcast. He kind of took me under his wing, said I got an idea about some stuff, and 6 years later we're here and we're doing this broadcast. And especially for me, I'm honoring him with doing the broadcast tonight. And Coach Jay, I know you're watching, and miss ya, and now you're the angel kind of watching over us. So that's a little bit of an emotional moment for me. Again, send a big shout out to his lovely wife, Michelle, and Jay, who we dearly, dearly miss. So London in white, silver helmets, purple pants will be kicking off, going from your right to your left. Cambridge with their gold helmets, red jerseys, red pants, all ready to go here on a Friday night. Some Friday night action for you here from the Forest City. Rivera with the kickoff, bounces about the 30-yard line, picked up at the 20 by the Lions. Good coverage downfield by the Mustangs. Great squeeze tackle. First down, Cambridge at the 25.
Ron, it'll be interesting to see as London proceeds to do what I am sure will be many more kickoffs as the offense puts points up on the board, whether that was something they saw on film or from their first matchup in trying to find that area of the field where perhaps Cambridge doesn't have a returner, or whether that was just an advantageous thing the kicker took advantage of.
Rivard does a great job of just dropping it into no man's land. 4 receivers to the field, 1 to the boundary, 1 running back in there. Motion the running back out. The halfback formation, handoff. Caught behind by number 97, Zach Delberg, bringing the pain early from the 3 spot.
And Ron, you were mentioning about this defensive front, the just studs across the board, and they're able to get pressure just with those 4 guys across the front, which if you know anything about football, you know that is the secret to success.
Yeah, again, great pressure right up front, dominating that first play. Second down and about 13 here for the Lions. Lions bring 3 receivers to the far side of the field. Motion to a 4th receiver. 1 receiver over here to the stadium side. And Cambridge calls an early timeout, Zach. What are you thinking in this?
Hard to gather what that was all about. It seemed like they were in their set. I mean, that's a tough position to be in on your second play of the game, second and long there. So, I mean, obviously deep in their zone, you got to get off on the right foot, and anything that goes wrong at this point can really set the tone on this game.
Yeah, those are some really valid points. The last thing you want to do is give up a third down and really, really long. Special teams. This is Canada. This is 3-down football. It is a third of the game. The Mustangs have prided themselves on excellent special teams all year round at all levels. Zach, can that be the advantage for the Mustangs in this game?
I think it absolutely can be, and we'll see how Cambridge adjusts and what London does to stop them here.
So again, 2 receivers to the top of the field, 3 to the far side. Ball's in the middle of the field. Quarterback is under pistol formation, brings out to the empty backfield. Back to pass. Throws a dart, almost picked off by London. Drop there we talked about him earlier, defensive MVP and number 2 gain for the Canada Cup, Wes McLennan. Sometimes kids, that's why they play defense.
Yeah, an old joke that sometimes is a reason those folks are on that side of the ball, but that was just thrown right to him.
So a quick 2-and-out here for the Lions as they are in the punt formation. Back deep, I'm trying to get the numbers here. Looks like it's number 22 for the Mustangs, Noah Amaral, and number 13, I believe it is, which is Mac Baker, are your 2 returners deep. Both of them have speed to burn. Punt picked up at the midfield by Baker, takes it out to the right-hand side, makes the first man miss, second man miss, brings the ball to about the 46-yard line for the Mustangs, and they're in plus territory early in this game. We talked about specials.
Yeah, you never want to end up with the opposite team starting on your end of the field. I'll give credit to the Cambridge punt unit there. It was clearly an angled kick to the short side of the field. They were able to get down there and prevent a big return. We talked about the impact Mac Baker had in that first game. So all things considered, a good way to stop a bit of early bleeding there after an ineffective first drive for the Lions.
Again, a couple of switches for the offenses and the defenses here for the Mustangs here. A couple of defensive players playing a little bit of offense, but this is kind of the bell cow all year. Ethan Dolby in the backfield. White back to pass, taking a shot downfield. Caught by Ben Kaverjovic off the 10-yard line. First play of the game. This was a kid that played defense for Team Ontario. First down, Mustangs.
And just an easy pitch and catch right there. It looked like they had one-on-one coverage down the sideline. Perfect ball, gets underneath it, doesn't stop his feet. That's one thing at this level. As a coach, it frustrates us to no end when a player stops running under the ball. Great way to start on the offense end.
Kaverjovic, a quarterback at Laurier High School in London, played defensive back most of the year, switched over to offense for this particular game, kind of caught Cambridge a little bit off guard there. First and goal for the Mustangs. Isaac White hands the ball off to number 9 there. I just talked about him a second. Ethan Dolby out of Parkside. Good gain of about 3 yards on the play. Zach, what do you see on this?
Well, inside the red zone, in the goal zone, in the score zone, you got to be able to pound the rock. Doesn't surprise me that London's going to try and set the tone there. We'll see what they come back with now, about second and mid.
Second and goal from about the 6-yard line for White and the Junior Mustangs. 9:21 first quarter opening drive for the Mustangs. We have a whistle, 2 receivers to the right, 2 receivers to the left, fullback in the backfield as well. Let's give a shout out to big number 40 there. That is Brian Bennett, the big fullback out of Laurier High School as well, who's almost like an extra offensive lineman there. Trying to catch what the whistle is there. Talking to somebody on Cambridge, but I think we're good to go now. So again, Dolby flared out a little bit to the left here, 2-by-2 set. White back to pass, scrambles out to his right, flags on the play. White steps out of bounds about the 2-yard line. What do you got here, Zach?
That's going to be on the right tackle on a hold. That's a tough position for an offensive tackle once the quarterback scrambles out. Clearly wasn't a designed role. The lineman doesn't have eyes in the back of his head. He doesn't know where the quarterback's going. As soon as he breaks the pocket, the defensive lineman starts pursuing. You get caught with hands on the inside as the man tries to break away. I'm going to say that's an offensive holding.
Yeah, holding on the offense. Unfortunately, number 50, Jaheem Ferguson, with the hold there, kind of hooks him right there.
Yeah.
98 for Cambridge with the pressure. I thought White kind of got out of the pocket a little bit early there. His first read wasn't there, and then he just tried to cowboy it a little bit, bringing up a second down and goal from about the 16-yard line. 1 receiver to the top of the field, 3 receivers to the near side. Motion in, number 11, Tierney. Hand off to Dolby, off to the left-hand side. Ethan Dolby's going to walk it for the touchdown. Mustangs, wow.
Beautiful.
Great blocking up front there.
And, we'll see it on the replay. It looked like Cambridge brought a little more beef on the defensive line, perhaps in anticipation of slowing down the run, should I say. Didn't stop that run by
I'm
the Mustangs.
going to give a shout-out. I was just haggling on one of the defensive linemen. Number 57, Amit Fatel, absolutely crushes it and opens up the huge hole there for Dolby to scamper through, and Tierney does a great job of cracking from the Z position to the linebacker as well.
You know, sometimes as an offensive line, when they bring in that extra defensive lineman, it can create some problems, but in some circumstances, it makes it easier. If they line up one guy across from each of your offensive linemen, you just know we have to out-physical the guy across from the line of scrimmage, and let it accomplish that, opened up a hole that I think either you and I could have run through there, Ronnie.
I'm not sure I would have run through any hole anymore. At this point, not much left of the knees there. But 9:48 left to go in the first quarter, 7-0. Really impressive opening stand by the Mustangs defense. Equally impressive stand by the Mustang offense. A great kick to start this game. 3 really positive things for the Junior Mustangs happening here early. Rivard puts the ball down on the 45-yard line midfield. And all of a sudden now you're seeing Cambridge has adjusted a little bit. So did they see something on film that they're trying to adjust to? Last time Rivard dropped it to right about the 25-yard line on the far side. Let's see if you can do about the same thing. Rivard is lining up to kick. Drops the ball back and drops it right where we just said. Picked up at the 25-yard line. Bob it a little bit. Good pressure. All of a sudden, number 24 for Cambridge is off to the races there. Great job downfield, but a big return to the 48-yard line of the Lions was number 24 for the Lions. That is Brandon Starlett on the return.
Yeah, it seems like London's still trying to find that same part of the field. Cambridge a much better job of attacking that ball, not letting it bounce too much. Of course, on the kickoff, that ball is live as soon as it passes that 10-yard gap, so they want to make sure that ball doesn't spend too much time live.
2-by-2 set here. Tight end on the left-hand side. Back to pass. Throws a little out pass. Caught by number 16. Corralled in the backfield. We talked about this gentleman earlier. Number 24, Zaya Blackson on the tackle.
Yeah, and it actually, I think it might have been a 2 tight end set there, perhaps in an attempt to slow down that rush by the London Junior Mustangs, perhaps just to give another look. Clearly effective for them on that one as they pick up the first down and a bit more.
Sorry, Isaiah's the brother. That's Rasheen Blackson out there. Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Rasheen. You're going to harp on me later. I bought lemonade. What else do you want? 3 receivers to the near side of the field, 1 at the top of the field, fullback in the backfield. Make that a quads look. Little slice action happening here. Inside handoff. Good gain of about 6 yards on that play, Zach.
Yeah, much more effective job in the O-power game, bringing that left guard around. We saw in that first one, London was able to get through the line of scrimmage. Nonetheless, they were able to block it down, secure the line, and number 63 for the Cambridge Lions leading the way. Ryan Ramos there. Nice pickup by the Lions.
Yeah, there you can see the looping lineman coming all the way around. That's good old-fashioned power football. 22 look again. Actually, it's 3-by-2 because they got a tight end on the far side of the field there. Inside handoff to number 34 again. Tries to bake it over the right-hand side. He's going to be short of that first down. Tackle made by number 95 it was. Oh, it's number 55, Noah Williams for the Mustangs. 3rd and about 1. Decision time here for the Lions.
Yeah, we'll see what they want to do here. Doesn't look like there's too much wind going at the moment to give an advantage one way or the other.
I think they're bringing the big boy package in here, and I think they're going to try to go for it here. That's what London is expecting. Number 23 is in at quarterback for the Cambridge Lions here. Under center. Straight ahead diving. It's going to be really close, but I think they're going to give them the spot. I think they're going to have a Lions first down.
Yeah, number 23, Johnny Spoltore.
So the ball is placed exactly at the 40-yard line. They gave him just enough for the first down.
Well, Canadian football with that yard as an offense, you have to be able to get that in almost any circumstance. You got it.
Fullback over on the left-hand side of the field. 3 receivers to the field, 1 to the boundary. Fullback to the boundary as well. Motion a little bit of cross action happening in here, trying to do a freeze play. Split the running backs, take them out of the eye. Back to pass, Cambridge quarterback throwing downfield. It is intercepted. Great coverage downfield by Jeremy Packton. What great job, Zach. What do you say on that?
Well, he had time to throw. He had the one-on-one matchup. Looked like he underthrew it a little bit, but great coverage. The defensive player put himself in a great position to make a play, and he made a tremendous play on the ball there.
If you're off like this, Coach Snyder would say, just run the darn hook.
Yeah.
You're playing 10 yards off. He does a great job of eating up that space, but Paxton, all he does is he just gets great position on him.
And what's interesting is that came off of what you referred to as the freeze play, where they ran a count, they didn't snap the ball, and they clearly made some type of read on what they saw on the defense, but clearly London got the better of them on that play.
2-by-2 set coming out of the interception. Ball's on the 5-yard line. Dolby in the backfield, motions out. A little bit of jet sweep action here coming here. Handoff to number 22. He gets the edge over on the left-hand side. Big run by Noah Amaral to the 19, gain of 13 on the play. First down, London.
Yeah, anytime you run those jet sweep plays, there's two main things you need to be able to get. You need to seal the edge, whether it's that tackle or a fullback helping in there, and then you're going to need your receivers to block in space. And I'm not getting the numbers here, but some tremendous effort by the receivers blocking in space there. An incredibly difficult task to ask.
That's number 11, Tyler Tierney. We had him earlier on that crack block to the linebacker on that first touchdown. Tierney, the product out of Banting High School. I believe he's going to Western or Fanshawe, and I think he's playing for the Beefeaters this coming fall. White in at the quarterback position, handoff to Dolby, slow playing it over the right-hand side. Great job by Cambridge that time. Number 55 with the tackle. I'm going to let you take this one.
Yeah, that was number 55, Hero Capovobia. Nice play being able to get through the line there. It looked like a guard tackle pull on that one. Going back to your point, though, about the blocking of the receivers, and we mentioned that we're going to be seeing some players in this game who are going to be at the next level. If you are a coach, if you're a scout watching this, a lot of kids at this level might be thinking, I'm a receiver. I got to go run routes. I got to catch balls. No, coaches are watching. Are you going to get in there dirty and make blocks and be able to do the stuff that's not always the most fun?
3 receivers to the field, 1 to the boundary here, 1 running back. Bennett was on at the fullback position. Little quick pass out here to Tierney. The gentleman we've called his name a number of times. Gain of about 3, but it's going to be short of the first down for the Mustangs.
Yeah, almost looked like a bit of a hitch in the throw there, like he wasn't fully sure on it. I don't know if it wasn't the read he wanted, but a bit underthrown, and it's going to bring up the third down here.
Well, again, but if you look at it, you gain 20 yards of field position after the interception. You're going to be punting the ball from the 26-yard line rather than the 5-yard line, and probably giving up the deuce at that point, or giving up the deuce at that point. Still 7-0 for the Mustangs, 4:29 left to go, and Rivard is back to punt here. Flag on the play. Trying to get what the call is here. We got 13 men in the field. False start against the Mustangs. Maybe they're saying that the center picked up the ball. We talked about that, gentlemen, a number of times already. Marcus Robinson is the long snapper on this for Rivard. I guess he moved the ball or something. Not 100% sure on that, Zach.
Yeah. Well, I'll make my comment after the punt.
Rivard drives the ball. Good high punt. Good coverage downfield. Picked up. I think that hit him. They're not calling no yards on that, so maybe it didn't hit him. But regardless, the ball goes out of bounds inside the 50 for the Lions. First down, Cambridge. They're saying at the 53-yard line. Boy, oh boy, that's a generous spot. I thought that went out about the 49.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what they saw on that one. But going back to the penalty before the punt had happened and mentioning Marcus Robinson snapping, we were just talking about some of the things that receivers can do to make themselves more attractive to recruiters. The fact that Robinson is a stalwart defensive player, and he's also out there snapping. Another thing for young players out there, a great way to get yourself on the field.
Yeah, again, 3 receivers to the top of the field, 2 to the boundary here, as they do have a tight end in there. So they're going with a lot of tight end sets away from the fullback. Single running back, motion him out to the wide side of the field. Handoff, little jet sweep action at 86 for the Lions. Cuts it back inside over the left-hand side. Gain of about 4 on the play, bringing up second down.
Yeah, and you know what I like there is that it wasn't too much space, but the running back had a hole and just put his foot in the ground and hit it hard. Sometimes we call that just getting the dirty yards. Is a tough game. You got to be able to put your shoulder down every once in a while.
That is Chase Judge, the stalwart receiver for the Cambridge Lions, who is probably one of the top recruits in the province. He's going to be back in high school next year.
And, not odd to see a receiver be brought into the run game for those outside zone, those sweep plays.
3-by-2 set, single running back, lose the tight end. This time they're going empty. 33 set here. Pressure coming from the backside. Drop off the screen play. Good play design. The big number 92 there. Rumbling and bumbling down the field. Takes it to about the 34-yard line. First down, Lions.
And not often you see a player with a number like 92 getting the ball on a screenplay, but great patience by the offensive line to really let the Junior Mustangs defense get deep into the pocket before letting them go. A lot of room for him to rumble downfield.
Yeah, Coach, you know it and I know it. What's the best way to take an aggression out of off a pass rush? Dump a screenplay on them. Let them get their butts upfield and throw it behind them. That'll slow it down a lot faster. 22 3 receivers to the boundary, 1 to the field. Bring it at 4. Inside handoff to number, I missed the number, sorry about that. Gain of about 4 yards on this. That straight ahead zone play over on the left-hand side.
And we mentioned that idea of getting those dirty yards, putting your shoulder down, and that's a good gain on that play regardless. But these are also the type of plays that you do in the first quarter, and that come the fourth quarter, you might be tiring out your opponent, and those 5-yard gains might become 8-10-yard gains when that defense, if they get tired out.
Yeah, if you think of boxing, these are the body blows that you want to land early in the fight to get the wind out of them a little bit, get them a little bit tired in there. Second down and about 5 for the Lions. Ball's at the 30-yard line. Again, inside handoff. This time he pulls it. Quarterback boots it out to the right-hand side. Good job getting to the 20-yard line. First down, Lions for the quarterback. That is, I'm going to allow you to do this one again.
Brick Mangaroff.
Mangaroff is the quarterback for the Lions. They're going to give him to the 19-yard line. Great play fake in the backfield, and then just a straight boot call. He was calling for somebody downfield, but good coverage by the Mustangs downfield.
Yeah, and a good job by the receivers to react, realizing that he was going to be running the ball and getting bodies on bodies. That's a quintessential time when you often will see blocking in the back by receivers. So great job by them to keep their hands in good positions and not get called on a penalty.
Pressure by Williamson on that as well. We've called his name a number of times. Another of those stalwart, big defensive linemen for the Mustangs. 3-by-2 set here. Back to pass. Throwing over to the left-hand side. Flag on the play. They're going to call a little bit of a tug here, I think, or a pick play or something. There's a flag on the play intended to number 11 for the Lions. Pass falls incomplete. Just waiting for the call on that, Zach.
Yeah, and the Junior Mustangs bring in a bit of pressure. I'll give a shout out to number 50, Cody Blackshaw, picking up the backer off the left side of the line and stopping what could have been a big sack had he not been there.
Well, it's against the Mustangs. It's the 10-yard variety. First and goal for the Lions inside the 10. I didn't see a tug. I got to say, I was watching the replay kind of intently. Didn't see what the ref saw, but hey. I'm a kicker, so what do I know? So 4 receivers to the top of the field, tight end only to the right or the boundary, 1 running back in. A little bit of motion, throwing it out there, caught by number 11, trying to get to the edge. He's got a juke and a jive. Inside the 2-yard line, break it down to the 1 is number 11 for the Cambridge Lions. Just a little bubble screen.
Yeah, and great job in space by number 3, Damian Plautza, of being able to stock block his man. Lost him a little bit at the end, but he was able to give his ball carrier enough time to make a play and get to the sideline there.
Great job of filling up the tackle there. Finally brought out of bounds by Kyler Park, the big defensive end out of East Elgin in Elmer. Big boy formation. 23 is under the quarterback. Heavy formation. Turns around. This time he's going to fake it. Throws it, and it's almost intercepted by the Mustangs. It was dropped by, I think it was number 92 for the Mustangs. I got to check that number there.
That was given.
Wow.
That was flashbacks of, was it the 2014 Super Bowl of the Seahawks not running the ball and then throwing the interception? When you're in that position there, we mentioned it earlier, when you're in those short yardage situations as an offense, you got to be able to punch it in there.
Well, 3rd and goal from the 1 here. They're going for it. Whistles on the field. Timeout for the Mustangs. I want to go back to that replay if we possibly can. Producer Stephanie, look at the tight end, wide open in the end zone. There's nobody 10 yards away from him. All you have to do is put that ball up there, and it's an easy 6 points for the Lions.
Yeah, and the man he was targeting, I didn't catch the number, was the fullback coming out, and it seems like maybe a little miscommunication, or seemed like he was perhaps not supposed to make contact with the defender. It seemed like you hit on the head, maybe a miscommunication there. The tight end was wide open. I'm not too sure what the QB was seeing there.
Well, it looks like they're going to be going for it here on 3rd and 1. Call it a hunch. I don't think they're going to pass the ball on this play.
Well, and that was the fascinating thing where they had Spiltori in there, who we saw do the short yardage QB thing earlier in the quarter. So I guess playing the odds that London was really going to hone in on that run and perhaps catch them off guard.
Well, you had them wide open.
Yeah.
You had them wide open 10 yards clear in the end zone.
Yeah.
As I'm sure the defensive coaches are going, whose man is that, guys? Come on. Coach Melrose, who's one of our producers here tonight, doing a fantastic job here, was probably losing his mind to see a guy that wide open in the backfield. But again, 3rd and goal here for the Lions. Straight ahead. I think you're going to lean on them. Touchdown, Lions!
And that, exactly what I was saying. You're in those short yard situations. You got to be able to punch it in right there. But going back to what you said about the tight end on that play, you can win yourself a bit of money sitting in a Canadian football game in the red zone, just saying to someone next to you, hey, I bet they're going to throw a corner out in the end zone. We got the extra large end zones here. This isn't American football. Yep. That's often a play where you can score. But nonetheless, Cambridge is able to punch it in, and if they get the extra point, we'll be tied up with 1:27 left to go here in the first.
So really good first quarter here by both teams. London really coming out emotionally charged at the start of the game with the 2 and out, and then the great run by Dolby. But to start it all off was that long pass to Kverjovic down the sidelines. Cambridge has kind of weathered the storm a little bit here, saying, okay, let's kind of dictate the pace a little bit. This is what we saw in the first game. This is why these teams went into overtime the first time around. That's why you see this type of game happening. The familiarity with these two particular teams, the Mustangs and the Lions, they have been playing each other for 5 years, and they've beat each other. Both teams have won. Both teams have lost. You're trying to dictate. This is almost like the last ride for some of these kids. You don't want it to be, but realistically, you're moving on to university. You're moving on to different football. You're moving on to Beefeaters, or if you're in the Windsor area, the Fratmen, the St. Clair Fratmen, or if you're in Peterborough, the Quinte Skyhawks. I like to saying that one. But yeah, it's a lot of different things.
Well, and what makes this year and this playoff run so much more special, we mentioned the inaugural playoffs of the OSFL, but as well, this is the first summer football that we're getting coming out of COVID. And so all these programs from top hot football beds around the province, like the Londons, the Cambridges, the Essexes of the world, Hamilton, this really is going to go to show who's been able to stay prepped. And it's not just from the players, it's the coaches, the community members that help keep these programs alive and running. There's a lot on the table for this to be able to show who was able to stay ready through those unprecedented times that we went through, keep these programs up and running, and come out with a championship. And it all starts here, as we mentioned, with the first playoff game at the varsity level of the OSFL.
Yeah, you're 100% right. 2 years ago, we're streaming Madden games, for something to do in the summer, going, we got to broadcast something, guys. So we're doing Madden. And last year we were doing summer camps and we did some flag stuff, and it was great. But realistically, everyone was missing football. Everyone was missing real football. And it's been so great to be out in the field and back here at Western at Alumni Field. Great job. This is our first year on this turf here, and this has just been a fantastic job. Noah Williams, the injured Mustang on there, being helped off the field. So, he's been a really, really solid player for the junior Mustangs. And again, we want to wish him a speedy recovery on this. But yeah, it's been such a long time coming for all these kids, the Cambridge players. Coaches have come in, they've retired during this time period and moved on to other things. And it's so hard to keep everything together. And just kudos to the entire province of football, saying everyone's coming under one umbrella. We're doing it. This is how we're doing it. And this is a testament to all that hard work that's been going on behind the scenes for the past 2 years as well.
Absolutely. I mean, and to your point, last time I was involved in Ontario Summer Football, it was with the OVFL, and now it's all under the one umbrella here with the OSFL. And
the OVFL back then, the London Falcons team I coached with, I'm aging myself drastically, but yeah, 2 JV titles, one against, both of them against we won 3 in 5 years, 2 of them against Myers, and the other one was against the Scarborough Thunder. That was the first one that I was part of at University of Toronto Field, Varsity Field there.
Well, as a former player and coach with the former team, the Metro Toronto Wildcats, I need to shake your hands for defeating the Scarborough Thunder through all levels of football I ever played at high school, summer ball, and university. There's no club that grinded my gears more than playing Scarborough Thunder.
Well, then you will like the Bantam game here tomorrow. The Junior Mustangs host those Scarborough Thunder at 6:30 tomorrow night. The Bantams, the number 2 seed in the Bantam. Kick is off. It is driven down, picked up at the 12-yard line. Straight ahead run there. Number 32 on the return for the Mustang. That is Kanye Netherstall, another of those Team Ontario backs that was there at the Canada Cup. Brings it out to about the 30-yard line. First down for London. Let's see what White can do here. 1:23 left in the first quarter. 7 for your Junior Mustangs, 7 for the Cambridge Lions. Great night to be here. Thank you very much for joining us here at Alumni Field. Again, fantastic. The inaugural first game of the varsity side of the playoffs. 2 receivers to the top of the field, 2 receivers to the bottom. Fullback in there. Hand off to Dolby. Dolby off the left-hand side. Makes the first man miss, makes the second man miss. Dives ahead for a gain of about 10 yards. First down, London.
And much like in the style of the Western Mustangs, back to that power running game, the guard's able to get a great kick out on the defensive end, stays on that block right to the whistle. Fullback leads through the hole. That's just as you draw it up on the chalkboard.
Guarding the tackle, pulling through on that. Set his name for a hold earlier. Jaheem Ferguson absolutely buries the defensive end.
And
coming around on that.
Sometimes an offensive lineman's best block comes after he gets called for uphold.
So 2x2 set again here for the Mustangs. White calling it out. Fake little jet sweep action. Back to pass. Throwing it deep down the middle. Was almost caught by the Mustangs, intended for number 14. That is Charlie Smith that drops the ball. Second down, great coverage down there.
Absolutely, and obviously for the Mustangs, you'd like to see the reception happen, but as far as we talk about those small things that coaches like to see, that's a receiver willing to go over the middle, right into the territory where the safety is. That's where you can really take on a big hit there. So he didn't make the reception, but it's always good to see a player who's willing to go into that middle of the field.
Second down and 10 for London. 18 seconds left to go. Probably the second last play. A little bit of freeze action. So they're bringing pressure off the edge now. Readjusting the formation a little bit. Bennett absolutely rips it off the left-hand side. Dolby straight ahead. Gain of about 8 yards on the carry off the right-hand side. They were showing a little bit of pressure off that right-hand side here, Zach. Look at the block here by number 40, Brian Bennett.
Yeah, and they get the down blocks they need to give the lane. The guard's able to get through, get that extra block break. The running back, it looks like it'll be a little short of the first down. 3rd and about 2 on your side of the 55.
So this would be the last play of the first quarter. Cam Seabold in at quarterback, a little bit bigger, a little bit more physical, much more of a running threat than Isaac White. Cam Seabold, the product out of Banting. I believe he is the Laurier commit as well. Handoff. Big run here by Dolby. Takes it over left-hand side, down to the 40, down to the 30, down to the 25, inside the 20, down to about the 17-yard line. First down, Mustangs!
Hey, he only needed 2, but he got himself about 35 on that. Great job running the ball out of the shotgun. Wasn't sure what they were going for there. Great job by the offensive line and the lead blocker there to break them. And, of course,
what a great counter look. Do you see how Dolby does that, where he steps completely to the right, comes back, lets all of it come in? Great job by the block there at the edge. Then Dolby's just off to the races. Great effort by the Cambridge Lions. But excitement to end the first quarter after what's been a really, really well-played game by both teams. 7-7, First down, Mustangs at the 17, Zach. What are you seeing out there?
Well, seeing exactly what we thought we were going to see, first and foremost, which is a great game. And you know what? We talked about the importance of London being able to set the tone from the jump, as they did with that first drive and stopping Cambridge on their first drive. But oftentimes, it's more than just how you start the game. It's how you respond to that controversy. So a great job by Cambridge to even up the score late there in the first. And then a really gutsy call there on 3rd and 3 around midfield by London. We'll see what they do now in the red zone.
First down at the 60. The ball's placed at the 16-yard line. Nethersaw is in the backfield. 3 receivers to the boundary, plus the fullback. So we got 4 receivers on the left-hand side, 1 over here on the right. Fake handoff, throws that little slant action, read it all the way. Pass intended for number 11, Tyler Tierney, broken up by the Lions.
Yeah, it looks like he may have had a read on that, whether to hand it off or throw it. I'm guessing they saw the linebacker step up and thought the receiver would have room over the middle with that slant play. But just great coverage. Sometimes great coverage will beat a great scheme on offense.
Yeah, Starlet was with the coverage there for the Lions. Does a good job of beating him inside after kind of giving him that inside lane as well. Second down and 10 from the 16. 2 receivers to the top of the field, 2 to the bottom. Bring that Charlie Smith across on the action. Isaac White throws it deep in the end zone. Flag, should be flag on the play. I don't understand that at all. How do you call that one but don't call the other? Ball is called incomplete. Third down for the Mustangs. Zach, what are we doing out there?
You know, that one's tough. The thing that'll always get a defensive player in trouble is if he doesn't turn at all. So you have to give the defender some credit in looking back at the ball. But I guess the ref is calling that maybe a bit of tangle in the feet. But
he hooks him. I'm sorry. He hooks him. He comes across. He hooks him. So, again, Rivard is back. This is going to be a 25-yard field goal attempt for Rivard and the Mustangs. Snap is down. The kick is up. The kick is good. So, with 10:42 left to go in the half, it is now 10 for the Mustangs, 7 for the Lions. We hear a little bit of stadium announcing there by the announcers, kind of enthusiastic into the game.
And, you know, a great crowd out here tonight. And, of course, we're here in London, but you're seeing a lot of red, a lot of the Cambridge faithful making the trip down the 401 to support their Lions. And it's a really great crowd here. You can probably hear them on the broadcast.
So Cambridge elects to take the ball at the 35-yard line, so you don't have to take the kickoff. You can say, no, we'll take the ball at the 35 after the field goal. First down for the Lions. 2 receivers to the bottom of the field, 2 receivers to the top of the field, fullback in the formation as well. Squared off to the left here, and then a deep running back. Motion to the cross, little jet sweep action in there. Hand off to number 4. That is Ryan Wolf on the carry, coming out of his X position. Brought down by number 4. That is Josh Delberg in on the tackle, number 4 or number 7. I think it was actually number 7, Wes McLennan. So just a little jet sweep action, and then he cuts it back inside on that. Second down and about 2 on there. Lions driving. Inside handoff to number 31 for the Lions. He's going to be short of the first down, but there's also a flag on the far side of the field. Zach, what do you think this is going to be?
Tough to see. I didn't see any movement early, but it looks like the Cambridge players are pointing in the direction of the Junior Mustangs, so this might be enough to give them the first down, and it looks like it is an offside on the Mustangs. That'll give Cambridge a first down.
So offside against the Mustangs. We're going to bring it up 5 yards. It's going to be enough for an automatic first down on that. First down for the Lions. Looks like we had the backside DN just lined up just a smidgen offside on that.
Yeah, and, you know, we don't have the numbers in front of us just now, but it's been a few penalties on the Junior Mustangs, and these are the things that, you know, here and there they might not kill you in the moment, but they add up over the course of the game, and they drive a coach nuts.
Tight end to the far right of the field. 2 receivers to the top of the field. 2 receivers to the boundary, so we got a 3-by-2 set. Running back comes out to the right, fakes the inside handoff, little bit of pressure coming off the left edge, throws the ball up, nowhere to go, gets it beyond the line of scrimmage. ball falls incomplete, there is not intentional grounding in the CFL if you throw the ball beyond the line of scrimmage, if you're outside the tackle box. They definitely was throwing the ball away on that, Zach.
Yeah, and we mentioned that pass rush by the Junior Mustangs early in the game. Cambridge has done a great job in solidifying that front five, bringing in the fullback, bringing in the running back to hold them still. That was a great job. You saw Marcus Robinson really getting into the action there, causing some trouble there.
Joe Vernaghi, the linebacker, bringing the pressure there off the backside. He's another of those East Elgin products who play for the inside draw play. Good job by the Lions. He's going to be well short of the first down after a gain about 3 or 4. Vernaghi in on the tackle again.
And you know what we mentioned earlier, how the screen is a really effective way of slowing down a hard upfield rush, as we've seen with the Junior Mustangs. Draws another great way of saying, come on upfield, and then boom, you hand it off a little late, and you get the big yardage like that.
Yeah, but the linebackers are doing a great job of staying home. They were dropping in the pass coverage, and they saw that. Vernaghi does a great job of getting off the block. I'm going to say this now, Joe, when you're watching this film, I wonder who taught you how to do that, okay? Just good job, son. So, third down and about 6 here. Timeout for the Lions, so that is both the timeouts here. Both of them on personnel issues, not necessarily alignment or time management, but that time Cambridge didn't have enough players on the huddle for the punt.
Yeah, and with just a little less than 9 minutes here in the half, that's you don't like to see that. We talk about how frustrating the penalties are for coaches. Personnel issues, those are things that you rep in practice. We're in the playoffs. You've been doing this all season long. It's unacceptable. You can't have that.
So you use this right now. Just as we're lining up to punt the ball, I'm just going to point out, on the far side of the field, there's a gentleman lined up behind the punter. Remember they did that rollout. There's going to be an onside punt coming here, and you got a gunner going for that ball. These returners better jump on it quick. Ball snaps over his head. Lions are in trouble here. Drops the ball. Picked up. Doesn't matter. It's going to be first down for the Mustangs at the 19. I think they had something going on. A high snap on there. Recovered by the Lions, but it's all for naught. First down, London.
Yeah, and you wonder maybe that was part of the conversation in Cambridge calling that timeout, that they thought they could get something going, as you mentioned, having the player onside to the field or to the Cambridge sideline. But of course, it doesn't. It all goes for naught if you can't get the snap there, and that's
Wes McLennan does the dream, the scoop and score. But son, that's why you play defense. Drop your hips, pick up the ball, scoop and score.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to. Wes, you're doing a great job out there, son. 3 receivers to the top of the field, 1 to the boundary, fullback over on the left as well. White in the pistol formation, barking out signals. Hand off to Dolby over the left-hand side. Dolby's got an edge to the 5, to the 4, drops the shoulder. Touchdown, London! Ethan Dolby with the 16-yard carry over the left-hand side.
And another example of Cambridge bringing an extra defensive lineman into the box, but just giving the Junior Mustangs on the offensive side of the ball really good blocking angles, getting the pulling guard into open space, and then just a great job by the ball carrier, finishing the job, putting his shoulder down. We call that running through the arches, just seeing your lane, putting your foot in the ground, and going for pay dirt. Excellent job by the Mustangs.
I'm going to call out, as a former receiver coach myself, I always told their kids, you're going to catch the ball maybe 4 or 5 times in a game. What are you going to do to stay on the field the other 45 plays? Tyler Tierney is absolutely owning it on that crack back block again, seals the linebacker, and Dolby busts it right offside of that. Great job of sealing it. Brian Bennett, we talked about his blocking. Tyler Tierney's having himself a game. He's only caught the 1 pass, but boy, oh boy, is he having himself a game blocking downfield. Kids, you want to play receiver for Coach Ron, you better learn how to block.
And missing that long snap, that snap going over the punter's head is back-breaking enough. But when on the very first play from scrimmage, you respond by punching it into the end zone like that, golly, that is a way to really put a statement on this game with about 8:30 left in the first half at that.
Rivard's extra point was good on that. 17-7 for the Mustangs as Rivard is lined up to kick the ball off here. Let's see if they try to kick that ball to about the 35-yard line again, 25, 35-yard line. That's exactly what they're doing. Dropping the ball, picked up by big number 38 with the return. Nowhere to go, takes it forward for a gain of about 5 to about the 42-yard line. First down, Lions. Is this by design, Zach?
Well, oftentimes it'll be either a schematic thing where you think that you can get the ball into an open piece of field there and have your players jump on it and recover it. Oftentimes as well, it's a returner that you really just don't want to put the ball into their hands and you'd rather give up an extra 10, 15 yards automatically versus risking the big gain by putting it into a playmaker's hands.
22 look here, tight end on the left-hand side, handoff inside. Gain of about 3 yards, brought down right away. Trying to get the number 53 with the tackle for the Mustangs. Called his name 3 plays in a row. Joe Vernaghi with the tackle on that.
Yeah, it's that play we've seen a few times out of the Lions. Heck, we've seen it out of the Junior Mustangs. It's which team can do the better pulling guard power play. And that was a decent little pickup, but second and about 6, 7, not where you love to be.
Second down, you're right. Second down, we're going to call it 6 here. 3 by 2, 3 to the field, 2 to the boundary for the Lions. 1 running back into effect, a little bit of inside motion there. Back to pass, trying to throw the out pass. It is caught. It's going to be a gain of about 10 yards. That's going to definitely be enough for a Lions first down. Caught by number 11 for the Lions.
Yeah, tight and go down. Great job of just knowing where the first down marker is, making his cut, securing the ball. First down.
Coach Matt Snyder, who's with the Beefeaters, and we would call Beefeater games last year, he would know that this is the most, I would say it time after time, it is the most undefendable route in the Canadian game, is that speed out. If you can hit the speed out with consistency, you can move the ball up and down the field. 3 by 2 look, handoff over the left-hand side, reverse to number 11, coming over of the right. He's got a little bit of mileage, got a little bit of blockers out front. I was trying to get some yardage going up there. That was the word I was looking for. Gain of about 15 yards on the play by number 11. So we fake the counter to the boundary, come back with a little bit of counter action coming to number 11 there. That is Tyler Gowden again on the carry. First down, Lions at about the 42-yard line.
And, we talk about the impact of being able to run the ball downhill and in the example of it being like a body blow in boxing, but it also sets up the counter action like that when they don't expect that coming.
First down and 10. 4 receivers to the field, 1 to the boundary. This time they're going to go empty, bring the second receiver over, try to get a little wheel route going on there. They got a man downfield. It is caught. Number 83 catches the ball. Touchdown, Lions.
Yeah.
Number 83. That is Ellis Burkett on the wheel route, wide open. Nobody picked him up, coming over on the exchange.
Yeah, that's tough, but a heck of a job by Burkett. You can see it was out. He had to outstretch the hands, keep the feet going. He almost lost his balance before getting in the end zone. Another great example by a receiver not giving up on a ball, keeping his feet moving the whole way. 6 points for the Cambridge Lions.
I was just about to say before that, too, this is almost after that touchdown and the field goal giving up 10 points. You needed to get something going again to kind of stay in this game because you kind of felt the momentum kind of going towards the Mustangs a little bit. Great answer to the touchdown. Cambridge has done a good job of that all game so far. And what we expected to be a close game is a close game at this point. Extra point is down, the kick is up, and it is good. 6:26 left to go in the first half. 17 Mustangs, 14 for the Lions. Zach, what are you liking out there?
Well, I like that both teams are really committed to the run game and really operating everything else off of that. We saw the example of that reverse play by Cambridge where they ran that exact same power guard pulling look to the stand side as we've been seeing them run all game long, but then getting the defensive end on the backside to bite and get the reverse around them. We've seen both teams being able to use things like play action. Cambridge has been able to roll out, scramble with the quarterback a bit, but it all starts, as we said in our pregame, in the trenches, being able to establish the run. If you can do that, you can run every other component of your offense off of that.
It's funny because coming into it in my head, I thought Cambridge was going to try to run a little bit more of the power, trying to come downhill more and play smash mouth football. And I thought the Mustangs would do the opposite. And I thought they tried to spread it out, try to get the jet sweeps, try to get the ball into space. It's kind of been the opposite for me. You know, the Mustangs have been running a lot more power stuff, and the Lions are trying to get the ball to the edge. So, you know, kudos to both teams to being able to advance or adjust the ball. Ball is picked up at the 28-yard line, brought out to the 40, outside to the 45, to about the 46, 47-yard line is Nethersaw on the return. Little bit of extracurricular activity at the end here. No flags on that. First down, London, off the squib kick.
Yeah, good tackle there. Ian Curtis, number 22 for the Lions. I believe that's the second time now that the Lions have chosen not to kick directly to the junior Mustang returners there. Both teams clearly really keyed in on the special teams side of the ball. You mentioned the importance, and as we're seeing here, the ball is moving back for the junior Mustangs.
So it's a first down. I miss what the call is. It's either a hold or a block in the back or something. Oh, they're saying it's a hold. So move it back 10 yards. Ball is at the 30-yard line. First down, London. 6:20 left to go in the first half. Ball is on the near hash towards the stadium side. Three receivers come out to the boundary. One is to the field, one fullback in. So we got four in there. A little bit of crack motion showing. Handoff to Dolby over to the left-hand side. Flag on the play, but Dolby busted over the left-hand side. Inside the 50, all the way down to the 43-yard line. But I think this is coming back right away. I have to see what the flag is. I'm checking what the flag is. It is a hold against London. Coming back right away. He was throwing it right there, away.
Yeah.
So I think they got tyranny on that one.
It might have been on the left tackle. It looked like he couldn't quite get his defensive end blocked inside. And similarly, as we saw on the QB rollout that caused the holding penalty early in the first quarter, oftentimes when the running back or the ball carrier is going one way and you can't quite see him, that's when you get caught with those holds. Tough play there on what could have been, what was clearly a big play.
Ethan Dolby's having a game with some big runs here tonight, though, isn't he?
Absolutely. And you know what? Even a play like that, which is going back, and it'll be tough to see how, or it'll be interesting to see how the Mustangs can regroup off of that. Even if the play doesn't count as far as the yards gained, it's still another example of a body blow you get to deal to the Lions.
Yeah, exactly. First down and 20. The ball is now at the 20-yard line for the Mustangs. Three receivers to the field. This time they go fullback and receiver to the boundary. Fake the jet sweep, inside handoff, straight ahead to, I believe it's Ethan Dolby, rumbling for a gain of 10 yards on that. This guy's touching the ball, and he's first downs every time.
And, you know, you can really see how the Lions are starting to key in on the run and respecting what Dolby's doing by how tight the linebackers are starting to play to the line of scrimmage. They're clearly keyed up on that they have to stop the run first and foremost.
You look for the shot now or something over that second level, maybe on a quick post to your Y or something?
Well, they've certainly established a good enough run that they could perhaps fake the handoff and get exactly what you're describing right there. We'll see what they go with.
So Bennett comes out to the far side of the field, Tierney out to the field, three receivers to the boundary, Dolby in the backfield, a little bit of crack motion, back to pass is Isaac White, scrambles up, steps up, he's got a little bit of yards to gain. It's going to be just short of a gain of about 7 yards on it. I think we're going to have about a third down and about 2, maybe 1 on this, Zach.
You know, another example where, Isaac clearly needed to step up into the pocket, but we saw earlier, and it was what caused that hold that we were just referring to again, where he seems like he scrambled out a bit too early. He definitely needed to step up, but sometimes it's just 1 or 2 steps to be able to avoid that outside rush. He may still have had time to make a throw downfield. We'll see they opt for here on about 3rd and 3.5.
Well, the punt unit is coming on for the Mustangs as we see Rivard is going back. Recognize those orange shoes anywhere. So Rivard is back to punt. Feet are on the 23-yard line. Good pressure off the left-hand side. Kind of botches the kick. Just off to midfield. It bounces in bounds. Picked up by number 98 for the Mustangs. And then the ball is forward. It's picked up by London. I believe this is going to be a London ball. Waiting for the referees. Oh, they're saying stop by forward progress. I'm not sure about this, Zach. I'm going to let you kind of take the lead on this one.
You know, I'm a little hazy on exactly what that ruling is going to be, but for 98 on Cambridge, if you are going to make that play, you have to just make up your mind to just get the ball in your hands and down it. That's Cole Davenport. And if this does stay with the Lions, that is a sigh of relief for the big man, because that would have been a huge momentum-turning play right there.
Brian Bennett, who we've said his name on a couple times, making some monster blocks. Great hustle play getting downfield. He was onside. He caught it. The receiver caught the ball, bounced right back into him. Unless they're saying it bounced out of bounds there, not sure what the call is. That would be the only other thing, because it was, for me, clear recovery for the Mustangs. First down for the Lions, 3 to the field, 1 to the boundary with the tight end. Motion the running back out there. A little bit of jet sweep action. This time the quarterback keeps it. Nowhere to go. We mentioned his name earlier. Marcus Robinson bringing the pain off the left edge. Drops him for a loss of about 3. Second down, Lions.
Yeah, and the Mustangs brought the double linebacker pressure up the middle. There wasn't anything to the edge, but the quarterback probably would have had his best chance handing that ball off nonetheless, because there was not a snowball's chance in heck of running the ball up the middle there.
Yeah, at that time the Mustangs really brought the pain on that one. Great pressure by the front four and to step up the linebackers as well. My, oh my. Second down and 13. 3 receivers to the top of the field. 2 to the boundary here. 1 running back behind the quarterback for the Lions. Ball is at the 47-yard line. Empty formation, bring a little bit of heat. Taking a shot downfield. Nobody there this time. Flags on the play. Wow, if they're going to call PI on this, I don't know about this call. They're going to call defensive holding on this.
Yeah, that's a tough one. When you bring pressure like that, it's putting your defensive backs in those one-on-one situations. That seems like
I don't see it.
And however whether you see it or not, to me, that's an uncatchable ball. It didn't look like the receiver he was targeting was impeded in any way by the penalty. Another tough call going against the Junior Mustangs.
Wow. That's what I got right now. You don't call that pass interference in the end zone. That was clearly a hook. This one, I thought he made good contact at the 5-yard line. Maybe it was 6. I thought it was 5. But they're calling a defensive hold. Automatic first down here, Lions. Ball is at the 41-yard line of London. 4 receivers to the boundary. Inside handoff this time. Nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. Big number 55 back in the game. Noah Williams out of that 3 spot with the stop.
Yeah, great to see 55 back in there after we saw him get escorted off by a couple of the Junior Mustangs earlier, what looked like perhaps a lower body injury, so you like to see him back in there.
Harlan Luther also in on the tackle. We've called all 4 of them off the defensive line now. Big number 99, Harlan Luther, was also in there. Throws him down for a loss of about 3 yards as we hit the 3-minute warning. No timeouts left for the Lions. Remember that, 1 for the Mustangs. Second down and 13. Ball is at the 54-yard line of London. Do you play it safe or you take a shot here?
Well, it'll be huge to see where they can go with this one as the clock winds down in the second half to perhaps regain momentum going into halftime.
3-by-3 set because the tight end's on the boundary here. Now they bring him back in. 3 receivers. It is strip sacked out there. Wes McLennan coming right up the A-gap. Strips the ball. Picked up by the Mustangs. Noah Williams, what do you say?
Well, it looks like they might be giving him the old Tom Brady tuck rule call on this one. I think they're saying he got rid of it there. So another perhaps whistle not going quite the Mustangs' way there, but an incredible job we've seen on this drive here. The Mustangs bring a lot of pressure up the middle, and it has been causing nothing but havoc for the Lions. We'll see how they adjust to that in the second half.
They call that incomplete?
It seems like that's what they're calling there. A wise man once said, Ron, let the kids play. And I will repeat those words again. Let the kids play.
Coach Wilson is not happy with the refereeing at the moment. I will tell you something. I'm not being a homer. I will call it exactly as I see it, okay? From my angle on the 45-yard line, about 50, 70 feet in the air, That was not an incomplete pass. That was a fumble. Regardless, here we go. Snap is down.
Oh.
And it's bobbled again. Picked up this time. Drives the punt downfield. Picked up goes out of bounds about the 24-yard line. Pressure again. Harlan Luther, we said his name earlier, brings the pressure on that.
Yeah, and we obviously saw a bad snap earlier in the half, which went over the punter's head. Sometimes as a long snapper, you try and over-adjust, and we saw this one bounce in front of the punter. You just got to stick with your fundamentals and just get it back there on a rope. You can't over-adjust to what the last one did. Just stick with that muscle memory, and you will be good.
So first down for London at the 24-yard line. 2:21 left. 17 Mustangs, 14 Lions. OSFL Varsity playoff action here from the 4-city. Jet sweep, handoff to Amaral over the left-hand side. Good gain on the play, keeps his feet driving, takes the ball out to about the 38-yard line. That's going to be enough for London. First down.
And a much better job. We saw the junior Mustangs run a similar concept play, that outside zone play earlier in which we saw Dolby break a big run. They got called back. Left tackle this time disengaging right before the point of it becoming a hold. Great job running the ball here late in the first half.
And the clock is now back in, so it stops. Kids, if you don't know timing in the Canadian game, stops for every first down, but when the ref blows it back in, clock starts again. 1:58 left at the time of the snap. White fakes the run, goes downfield, caught by Amaral at the 50-yard line on just a little kind of read, little zone play on that. First down, Mustangs.
Heck of a job by the receiver to redirect back to that ball. Just another example of those little things that as a coach, as a scout at the next level, you love to see these kids be able to do.
Noah Amaral was the third receiver on that field side. So, again, that's a strong safety's responsibility. If they're playing quarter coverage or thirds, he's not tracking the man, but that's exactly who the guy who he had to take. Three receivers to the top of the field. Dolby over to the left-hand side. They've had something going on with that left-hand side. Flags on the play. We're going to have a hold coming back here against the Mustangs.
Yeah, it looks like that might be going on the receiver. One of the worst things you can do in your own case is throwing the hands up to show you didn't do anything. But oftentimes when the stripes see those hands go up, they think you're guilty for just acting that way. So oftentimes you just got to play it cool.
Coach, anytime the hands go outside the cylinder, on the edge, when you're on the island, they're going to call that 100 times out of 100. When your aiming point has got to be inside towards more of the breastplate, you got to get your hands inside. You want to get your thumbs together on that block and come up and make that. They're never going to call that on a hold. The second your hands go outside the shoulder pads, well, you're out there for everyone to see, and two of them saw it.
Absolutely. It's the hands, and it's also using your body, keeping your head to the ball carrier side, using your natural angles to be able to position yourself to make a block.
First down repeated for the Mustangs. Ball is at the 50-yard line, 1:31 left. Empty backfield. This time they fake the little jet sweep. White steps up, feels the pressure, dumps it off to Bennett over on the left-hand side. Brian Bennett rumbling down the field, takes it inside the 50 to the Cambridge 46-yard line. Second down, London.
And a fantastic job by the Q, this time stepping up but still having his eyes downfield. And mentioned that on a scramble he had a few drives ago. That it looks like he still has the opportunity to make a play. Keep your eyes up, see if you can make a play downfield.
I like the check down to the big man out in the flat.
Absolutely.
There, because nobody wants to tackle this guy into space. Brian Bennett's got to be pushing 260, and when he's bringing the load, he is bringing the load. Second down and about 8 here. Three receivers to the boundary, one to the field here. Inside handoff. They've had some success over the left-hand side. This time a gain of about 5 yards. We're going to be short of the first down. That's going to bring up a 3rd down and 2 for the Mustangs at the 43-yard line. They're marking it at the 45, so they're not giving him the yards that I thought he was getting. Again, hey, maybe I should change my glasses prescriptions, but 3rd down and about 5 here. I think they have not called the timeout, so clock is running.
Yeah, my guess is that London will probably let the clock run down a bit before running this play. Either they get the first down and they can attempt to score either in the end zone or with a field goal, or worst case scenario, you eat up a bunch of the clock, and if you don't convert on it, well then if Cambridge takes over, then at least they have less clock to run the field, or you just let the clock run down and you punt it away.
So they're running down the clock 20 seconds here is what they want to do. But the referee is coming over to talk to him about something. In the meantime, they stop the clock. So, okay.
Yeah, and we've seen momentum switch between both these teams all game long, but with this being the last minute of action, the team having the momentum going into half can be so huge. It's such a monumental thing in this game of football, being able to have that momentum going into half.
Head coach Greg Wilson out there having a chat with the officials. 59.9 seconds left. White is still on the sideline. And now they've started the clock. So, okay, maybe they called the timeout. I don't know. I don't know. I get frustrated sometimes too. But coming out of the huddle, we got two receivers to the boundary.
Oh.
Now, what is going on?
The home crowd getting a little restless, as you and I are as well up here.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what's going on, as they could run the ball, they could run the clock down to inside of 45 seconds before they call the timeout. So timeout London now is now what they've called. That's their second timeout. Again, acting head coach Greg Wilson having a conversation with the officials. Yeah, I sometimes I'm kind of speechless in the game. This is one of the moments. But anyway, the ball is at the 45-yard line. 3rd and 5 here for the Mustangs. 48 seconds left to go. 17-14 London. OSFL first-round varsity playoffs here. Only game in the province tonight. As if you're watching this game, thank you for joining us live on YouTube on Junior Mustangs Television, being produced by Adam Melrose and the lovely Stephanie Melrose as well. So, two receivers and the fullback to the field, two receivers to the boundary, single running back, play action pass. White's back to pass, dumps it out, pass falls incomplete. Huge pressure by the Lions. Turn it over on downs. First down, Cambridge.
Yeah, and it looks like the Junior Mustangs were looking to set up a little middle screen of their own there. You could see the linemen letting the Lions get into the backfield, but it seems like the linebackers for Cambridge weren't fooled, making it difficult for the Q to find his man. And with just over 40 seconds, that's a lot of time, even though Cambridge is starting on their own 45 here. Let's see what they can do to perhaps snatch back the momentum as we go into the half.
Three receivers to the boundary, two to the field here, one running back in the backfield. Back to pass is the Lions. A little bit of pressure coming off the edge. Holding this play is coming back against the Lions. That was a definite hold on the left-hand side. We saw that one up here clear as a bell. We talked about you can't get your hands outside the cylinder. You also can't pull a jersey backwards.
Yeah, and you could see the Junior Mustangs going with the three defensive line front, so clearly banking on Cambridge to be throwing the ball downfield, as I'm sure everyone in the stadium was predicting they'd do as well.
Yeah, 9-man coverage on that. Did they just call personal foul? So they got a holding, and then I think they got objectionable conduct or a personal foul on a horse collar. So if my math is correct, and then I don't know what happened afterwards because there's multiple flags on the play, but they're talking to both teams here. This has got to be going back 10 yards on the hold minimum here. Holding against the Lions. Rough play against the Mustangs.
So is that going to be a gain
Move
of 5
it up
for
5
Cambridge?
yards. Yeah. Ball is now placed at the 50-yard line. First down, Lions. So 34.8 seconds left to go in the half. That's an automatic first down. You got to move the sticks on this. Yep. Sorry. Got to wait. The sticks got to move. There we go. So, sorry, reffing the game from up on the booth from the 45-yard line. Great game here. We thought this was going to be close coming in. A little bit more points than I expected in the first half. We'll kind of talk about that before we go off of the half. Back to pass, a little bit of screen pass. Pass was batted, incomplete, second down for the Lions. Again, we're just trying to get that little inside Z slice happening underneath there, or that little slant play.
Yeah, and it looked like he had the space, he had the blockers. QB's just got to put it on him maybe a little bit tighter to his body. But, receiver, I've had a coach who'll say if it hits you in the hands, you can make that play.
I believe I've said that a couple times to running backs and receivers as well. So bubble screen happening out to the left here. Good job downfield. Good blocking. Great job coming over to the top. Joe Vernaghi, we've said his name a number of times in the second quarter here, making the tackle after a gain of 7 yards. That's going to be a third down for the Lions. I think we're going to be in a punt situation here for Cambridge.
And this is where those timeouts Cambridge took early in the half due to things like personnel issues and just not being aligned as they were comfortable to run the plays they wanted to, do come back to bite you when it's late in the half like this, and perhaps you're calling plays that you might not otherwise. And now with the punt coming up, we'll see if the long snapper can finally put it on the money.
So this time they don't have the man on side. So that's interesting to see. So maybe it's just a straight punt away here. Inside fake for the Lions, straight ahead. He's going to have just enough for a Cambridge first down. Number 38, the ball carrier, the direct snap to Jesse Jansen. Boy, oh boy, I know that kid very, very well. He is an absolute load. Lowers his shoulder on that. Big finish on that run.
And, off the jump, you were quick on pointing out that they weren't having the guy line up on side for it. That could be a tell for these junior Mustang coaches going into the half. No doubt they've studied a ton of the Cambridge film, but perhaps something in this Cambridge punting scheme that they can queue up on.
4 receivers to the field, 1 to the boundary, 1 running back in the field. Back to pass, looking for that little mesh route, complete to number 11. Gain of about 4 or 5 yards on the play. 0.6 seconds left for the Lions. Ball is at about the 43-yard line. I don't know what your kicker's got for a leg, but this would be a 50-yard field goal attempt.
Well, I'd love to see it if he's got it on him. Maybe it's an opportunity to just throw one up to the end zone. We'll see what they have. That's number 11, Titan go down. We've seen him make a number of plays so far, both in the passing and in the run game today. Clearly a weapon for the Cambridge Lions.
So 4 receivers are going to the field. 1 is to the boundary. Mustangs are playing prevent coverage on this. Brings 3 off the pressure. Scrambles out to the left-hand side. Going downfield with the ball. It is knocked down, incomplete. Good coverage by the Mustangs, number 32. Nethersall was there. But that is the end of a very, very entertaining first half for here, the Junior Mustangs and the Cambridge Lions. Zach, the Mustangs really established that power run game, kind of gave the body blows like we were talking about. Cambridge has really done a good job of weathering the storm. The difference is that snap over the snap punt, you know what I mean, the field goal on that, the field position. At that point, that's really the difference in this game right here, and it's amazing how one miscue, and that's kind of how this game is going. What are you seeing so far?
Well, you make a great point with that, and I think that really highlights, though, how both of these teams have been able to both give the blow but also bounce back from it. And I think that's what makes such a great game. And you highlighted how it's a bit more of a scoring game than we anticipated. Going back to that Week 5 matchup, the overtime game at that, so an extra quarter of football, we saw a 21-15 final. We're sitting here halfway through this game. Mustangs up 17-14.
We're going to take a little break here for the half. Again, 17 for the Mustangs, 14 for the Lions. Thank you very much for joining us here on Junior Mustang Television. And welcome back to Alumni Field here at the University of Western Ontario for this OSFL Summer Football Action Tier A first round championship round. 17 for the Junior Mustangs, 14 for the Cambridge Lions. It has really been a game of body blows, starting with the second play for the game, the first play of the game for the Mustangs, taking that deep shot down the field to Ben Kverjevic.
Yeah, and as you said, both teams really trying to establish that run game, but clearly showing they have the weapons to be able to hit it down the field deep in the passing attack as well. Two of the big things, though, that have stood out that kind of been having an effect on this game, on the Mustang side of the ball, the penalties, some of them maybe not the best calls. We don't always agree with the referees, but hey, the call is what the call is. And on the Cambridge side of things is a couple bad snaps, one of which going over the punter's head that the Junior Mustangs recovered, and on the very next play punched it in for a score. So some of those things both sides of the ball got to tighten up on, but other than that, this is exactly what we thought we were going to get. A great rematch from Week 5 that we saw go into overtime with these two teams. I don't know where you'd rather be than watching this game right now.
Well, nowhere. Braden Rivard is the difference in this game, kicking the field goal in that first half off that botched snap after the Mustangs were unable to convert on the second down and short. And again, Ethan Dolby, kind of the story for the Mustangs with the power run game, really establishing themselves in this game. Cambridge with that long wheel route to kind of get back in the game as we see the Lions kick off. The ball is kicked down to the 10-yard line, straight ahead to the 20, to the 25. Netherstal with the ball, takes it out beyond the 30-yard line to about the 32-yard line for the Junior Mustangs.
And I believe that may be the first time either team has actually kicked the ball deep to the returners. Maybe there's something that the coaches saw at halftime they thought they'd take advantage of. Maybe there was something that wasn't working for them.
Well, good job actually pinning him down on the kick. So again, you could anywhere in the Canadian game, you can put the ball down in between any of the hash marks to kick that ball off, and he brings it close to the stadium side, drops it down inside the numbers in the hash, and it's a really, really great job up there. So first down for the Mustangs, 3 receivers to the field, 1 to the boundary, fullback, so you got 4 over there. Show that little crack motion, and here comes the big man, Ethan Dolby, straight ahead off the left-hand side, gain of about 3 yards on the play, bringing up second down.
Yeah, and there's that power run game that we were talking about. We were discussing at halftime. Seems like both these teams enjoying running that ball to the left side of their respective offensive lines. Maybe that's something they're seeing on the defensive side of the ball. Maybe they like having that right guard pulling through the hole. Whichever way you slice it, it's that power G offense that, as a former offensive lineman, I absolutely salivate over watching.
Yeah, it was actually a gain of about 4 on that, so we're going to call it second down and a long 6 here for the Mustangs. 3 receivers to the boundary, 1 to the field, White back to pass, taking a shot downfield. Pass is broken up by the Lions. Great coverage downfield, intended for Noah Amaral. Brings up a third down for the Mustangs.
Yeah, tough call there on the throw. Looks like the receiver was double covered. And you know what? At the end of the day, Mustangs lucky that 22 was able to not come up with the interception. Ian Curtis there for the Lions.
So Rivard is in to punt. He's going to be punting the ball somewhere around his 20-yard line down there. Standing on beyond the 40-yard line for the Lions are a couple of returners. And again, Cambridge was able to convert that third down on that fake punt. Don't think this is a fake punt situation for the Mustangs, but I think the punt's going to be going to the left here. Rivard drives the ball. Good punt towards the sidelines. Goes out of bounds. Though it stays in bounds, Lions jump on it about the 47-yard line. First down, Cambridge. Ball in plus territory for them.
You know, people often get caught up with the punts that just go way, way downfield. But great job getting hang time on that punt. Allows the coverage team to get downfield. And, of course, with the Canadian game, allows those gunners to be able to set up with the 5-yard halo around the returner.
So a really good job of coverage downfield, not going inside that 5-yard no-fly zone. And, again, much tighter formation this time. 4 receivers to the field. No receivers, just the tight end over to the boundary, bringing the fullback inside handoff to number 17, trying it over the right-hand side. Good gain of about 12 yards on that. going to be close. I thought it was about 12 yards. It's going to be really close to a Lions first down here. I think they're going to give him a gain of 9 on that, Zach.
Yeah, Brian Amokahini with the run. We've seen him have some effective carries. That looked like just a straight downhill call, no guard pull there, nothing. Bit of a change of pace run from what we saw them do early in the game.
Well, and they did give him the 10 yards for the first down. I thought it was a little bit more than the original spot. So all they did is they brought the receivers over. So now you got to bump the safety over. That takes Baker out of the run fit. And all of a sudden now you're ISO'd on a 2 on the backside. And maybe Cambridge has got something there. 4 receivers to the boundary and the tight end to the field this time. This time a little sweep action going off to the left-hand side. He's off to the races inside the 20. Makes the second man miss. Inside the 10. Down to about the 8-yard line on the sweep play. Number 17 for the Lions, Zach.
Yeah, there's Amokahini again after we saw him take the ball on that last carry. The Mustangs bringing a bit of pressure up the middle, which gave them a lot of success late in the first half there. But the tough thing when you bring pressure is that if you don't execute on it, you're going to leave a lane open for the ball carrier if they hit it. And Amokahini hit it with full stride and then got some extra yards on the back end as well.
First and goal for the Lions. 9 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Ball's on the 9-yard line. 2-by-2 set fullback. This time the quarterback fakes it out to the left. He's running out to the left, scrambling. Baker applies the pressure, throws it out of bounds. Second down. Great pressure by the safety, Mac Baker.
Yeah, and there's that same pressure we talked about right up the middle, whether it's the linebackers or whether it's Baker there coming up, able to flush the QB out of the pocket, making him uncomfortable, and rolling to his left, which as a right-hand quarterback can be a little tricky there.
I think it was Delberg bringing the inside pressure on that as well. Big number 97 coming out of that 3-tech spot, and he was able to bring the pressure and flush him out to the left. Again, right-hander quarterback rolling to his left, throwing the ball out of bounds. That's a tough throw for anyone. Second down here, we have a late whistle. Oh, blowing the play in. Okay, so second down, 2 receivers motion, bring the fullback in. Tries to throw that out pattern. It's caught for Cambridge. Touchdown. Number 83, I believe it is, with the Cambridge touchdown. Just that simple out route. The second man to the short side of the field. Hit the speed out. You're going to get big plays.
Yeah, and you talked about it earlier where when you bump out the one running back, bring in the fullback, see how the defense adjusts. Sometimes you get the defense in an unfavorable position. You add in the speed route, which you talked about earlier, is a almost sure thing in this Canadian game. That's a great call, great execution by the Lions.
So great ball plays, good adjustments. The kick is no good. Kind of stumbled a little bit. So let's see if that comes back into play later on in this game. But Cambridge, 8 minutes, 34 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Their first lead of the game, 20-17 Lions.
Yeah, and that missed field goal, that missed PAT, I should say, could be huge down the stretch as we now only a 3-point lead for the Lions within a 1-score game. But we really saw it, like we talked about all game, starting with the run game and then setting up everything else as a result off of that.
So again, yeah, really good drive by the Lions. It all helped with that kind of that outside zone play where they ran the overload to the wide side of the field, put all 4 receivers and the fullback over there, and just came with the sweep action and outmanned them at the point of attack. So ball is at the 45-yard line. Lions lead 20-7, kick the ball off. Ball is driven downfield, goes out of bounds. So first down London, ball's going to be about the 35-40-yard line on that, depending on where they mark the ball out of bounds.
Heady play there by the returner to recognize the angle the ball was going on, that it was tight to the sideline. Could be a bit risky, but I'd say in that scenario, worst case, it's probably going out the back of the end zone, goes out of bounds, and it looks like they're going to be marking it up to the 40.
Worst case scenario, it's going out of bounds, but that's a live ball on a kick, so, keep your head in the game just because it's over your head, but I think he was smart. Ball's placed at the 40. First down for the Mustangs. 3 receivers to the field, 1 to the boundary. Big number 40, Brian Bennett, also to the boundary here. Inside handoff to Ethan Dolby. A little bit of a high tackle on that. They got that one right away. This is going to be a 15-yarder against the Lions. You got flags on both sides of the field, though.
Yeah, the first one may have been offside on the Mustangs, so we'll see what the net result is but we'll let the Stripes let us know.
They're calling an offside against the Mustangs. Nothing on the high tackle. Moving back, I'm going to say Cambridge is going to decline this penalty after a gain of only about 1.5 on the play. I think you take the down on that one rather than the yards.
Yeah, and obviously we're the beneficiary of getting the replay, but we saw earlier an example, penalties on both sides of the ball and an example of the outcome.
Okay, so they corrected it. They are calling the horse collar penalty on that as well. We're going to move this up 10 yards. It's going to be a first down for the Mustangs. Ball's going to be placed at the 50-yard line. First down, London. So again, 8:22 left in the third quarter. 20 for the Lions, 17 for your junior Mustangs. 3 receivers to the field, 1 to the boundary. Fullback also over the field. Dolby in the eye. Handoff to Dolby over the left-hand side. Makes the first man miss. Keeps his legs driving. Goes beyond midfield to the 54-yard line. Gain of about 6 on the play, Zach.
Yeah, great job to make something out of seemingly nothing. The defensive end to the field side blew right by his block, almost made the tackle for loss in the backfield, but Dolby, tough guy to bring down, keeps those feet churning, like I said, making a little something out of nothing.
He got 8 yards after contact because he was hit 2 yards in the backfield, and it was able to get a 6-yard gain on that. Talk about keeping your legs driving and the strength of this kid.
Absolutely, and you combine that with the speed we've seen him in as well, all around back.
Again, similar formation, bring that crack motion in. Hand off to Dolby over the left-hand side. This time the Lions meet him at the line of scrimmage. Nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. Big number 55 with the tackle. No gain on the play, bringing up third down, forcing a punch situation for the Mustangs.
Yeah, Jiro Kapovia, we've seen him make some plays before in this game. Seemingly we're seeing perhaps a bit of a tough go on the left side of the junior Mustangs line there. 2 times in a row, that's where the pressure has been coming for the Cambridge Lions.
So maybe they've got something. Maybe that's the adjustment that Cambridge has done. Let's see what London can do out of that. Now you've seen it a couple times. 7:18 left in the third quarter. Rivard is back to punt. Ball is kicked, and it's driven downfield. Good booming high punt. Gets the coverage downfield. Ball bounces. Picked up at the 22-yard line. That was at the 16-yard line. Brings it to about the 22-yard line for the Cambridge Lions. First down, Lions. Turn it over.
Great punt, great coverage, great tackle. Way to flip the field. Sometimes you don't always get the points you want, but being able to set up your defense in a position to perhaps pin the other team deep is all you need to be able to then on your next drive set yourself up for success.
Ethan Tran on the coverage there for the Mustangs. So they are going to call a no yards call on that. I thought it was close to being inside the bubble. 5-yard variety, so they're going to bring the ball out to the 28-yard line. First down for the Lions. 4 receivers to the top of the field, 1 running back, 1 receiver to the boundary here. Here we go, Lions motion, do a freeze play, and unfortunately, this time it's the Cambridge Lions who are well offside on that. Receiver released downfield just a little bit early.
Yeah, and we've seen both teams utilize that freeze play, trying to catch the defense in a certain scheme and then perhaps audible into a more favorable play. But, of course, it doesn't mean a thing if your offense can't hold its water there. So we'll see what the result is here.
Well, it's a 5-yard penalty against Cambridge. They have actually called that one back. So, no, sticks go the other way, guys. They called it against London? No, guys, we're going the wrong way. Hang on, Mr. Officials. We walked it off the wrong way here. It was offside against the Cambridge Lions. It was number 11 who was well offside. There we go. Marching in the right direction now. Yeah. So, first down repeated for the Lions. Thank you very much for joining us here on Junior Mustangs Television. Great game here at Alumni Field at Western. 6:45 left to go the third quarter. 20 for the Cambridge Lions, 17 for your London Junior Mustangs. Inaugural game in the OSFL Varsity Playoffs. Inside handoff over the right-hand side. Met at the line of scrimmage. Good, tough run there by the running back. and brought down, we've said this gentleman's name a number of times, Noah Williams with the tackle.
Yeah, and it looks like Cambridge going back to Amokahini, who was the star of that last drive leading to the Cambridge touchdown. Looked like the Junior Mustangs going with a 5-man defensive front, which we talked about. The Junior Mustangs on offense had effective running the ball against Cambridge's version of that. Clearly, Cambridge not as effective against that 5-man front.
3-by-2 set, motion them over, 3 to the field, 2 to the boundary here, single back, second and about 11 here, back to pass. Cambridge hits that little out pass, complete to number 11, but it's going to be well short of the first down. Gain of about 7 on the play, bringing up about a third and about 2 here.
Yeah, Titan go down. We've called his name a number of times. He's been having a lot of success with those speed outs, as you've been highlighting. They've also motioned him into the backfield, done a few sweep plays with him as well. Clearly a great player for this Cambridge Lions offense.
So Cambridge is leaving the offense out there. Now they're bringing the punt formation in here, and let's see. The adventures in special teams continues here. We've seen big plays by the Cambridge special teams with that fake punt conversion, and we've seen big plays against Cambridge with the 2 bobbled snaps. Let's see what version of Cambridge we get this time.
And you highlighted on the 1 bobbled snap that they had a player line up onside, and it looks like they're going for it again here. If they get the snap down, it'll be interesting to see what they run.
This punt's going to the stadium side here, and it's going to be towards number 17. Punt is, guess what, to the left-hand side, and he slips back there. Amaral picks it up, retreats back to about the 22-yard line, makes the first man miss, can't make the second man miss, driven down at about the 27-yard line. Big punt, flip the field, Cambridge Lions.
Yeah, that is a heck of a job to flip the field there. You highlighted it with the punter rolling out a bit to his left, that they may have been trying to set up an opportunity for the onside man to recover. But that's why you always talk to your returners about catching that ball in the air, because when you retreat like that, give up those yards, bad things happen.
Well, and again, if we can get next time we see that replay, I want to see if the onside man is even with them, because for him to be onside, he has to be clearly behind the punter at the point of kick. I don't know if he was clearly behind him on that. Coaching point going forward, we'll have to see that later. White with the pass falls incomplete, little bit behind his receiver, number 14 for the Mustangs. That was intended to Charlie Smith, incomplete, second down.
Yeah, he had the man open, just threw a little bit behind him, as you mentioned.
So second down and 10 here, ball on the 29-yard line. 4:54, 20 for the Cambridge Lions, 17 for your Junior Mustangs. Friday night action here from Alumni Field on the campus of Western Ontario from the Forest City. Guys, if you are not outside or if you don't live in southwestern Ontario, it's muggy out here and it's starting to get a little bit sticky. Dolby with the handoff, busted over the left-hand side, tripped up at the last second after a big gain of 15. If he doesn't get tripped off on that, he is off to the races.
And that's a heck of a job by the Western Mustangs offensive lineman. You get the guard coming to kick out the defensive end, tackle able to pull inside of that block, picking up the next man, giving Dolby the space, and a shoestring away from breaking that for perhaps even bigger yardage.
Oh, I think he's off to the races. I think he's running to the back of the end zone if he doesn't get tripped up there at that 15. That was Jaheem Ferguson, number 50, coming around. We've called his name a number of times. He's having himself a whale of a game. 3 receivers to the boundary. 1 to the field. Hand off to Dolby. Straight ahead this time. Dolby makes the first man miss. Lowers his shoulder. Drives forward for a gain of about 8 yards on that. Ethan Dolby is having himself a game tonight.
Yeah, and if you add on the yards that had to get called back on that hold in the first half, his yards would be even better. But this is going back to that power run game that we've seen so effectively for the Junior Mustangs and the Cambridge Lions. This time, instead of having the tackle lead through, they go to the fullback, number 40, leading the way for Dolby there.
So, yeah, Bennett's had himself a good game blocking, and I missed the number. It wasn't Ferguson, but boy, oh boy, whoever the right guard was on that play laid an absolute monster block, so shout out to him. Again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Hand off to Ethan Dolby, drives forward for a gain of about 4 yards. That's going to be enough to move the sticks. Ball's at midfield, first down London.
Yeah, and you talk about the efficacy of this offensive line for the Junior Mustangs. On the sidelines for them, they have 2 of the best linemen in the OUA for the Western Mustangs, in Philip Grahovic and Zach Fry, coaching them up. So it doesn't get much better than when you have 2 guys like that. Zach Fry, who spent time with the Rough Riders in their mini camp is coming back to Western as well. So these guys, are well coached up.
Yeah, big number 67. I couldn't get the number the first time around. It's Logan Hunt, who's absolutely road grading people out there, and there he's pulling him again, running right behind. This time it's Kanye Nethersaw, straight up the gut. A little bit of change of pace, gain of 15 yards. First down, London. That ground game is grounding and a pounding right now.
And this is the result of running all those powers, all those counters early in the game, and finding these big gains late in the game as we now hit the 2:24 mark in the third quarter.
So again, great drive here by the Mustangs. We'd be remiss to say, hey, look, the junior Mustangs are missing a couple of their key guys who are on their way down south to go into prep schools who, good for them, great opportunities for them, but they're missing some great players. So the Mustangs have had to adjust on the fly as we see the injured Cambridge player walking off field under his own power. It's always great to see. So again, great job of putting new pieces in new slots and, not really changing what you're doing, but identify this is what we want to do. We want to be a run team. We've got a back. We got a bell cow. And boy, oh boy, Ethan Dolby in that run game for London. That's your bell cow on this evening.
Absolutely, and having that extra week to prep really helps make those adjustments. Mentioning the player coming off for Cambridge, number 22, Ian Curtis. We've seen him make some plays for the Lions. We'll see how they adjust with him coming out of the game.
So again, 3 receivers to the field, 1 to the boundary. It seems to be the set of choice here by the Mustangs here. Bennett at the fullback. White's back to pass, throws it across the middle. Pass falls incomplete. Intended for Amaral on that. Incomplete on almost like a little cross mesher. Again, Amaral's coming out of that 3 spots. The error does just that long drag. Just a little bit too far upfield. I like him to come a little bit flatter at about 12 yards. I think he drifted to about 15 on that.
Yeah, he may have been afraid of running into the official there, but perhaps he was using the official as a screen to keep his defender off. Either way, got to make that play happen.
Yeah, like I said, I'd like to cut it short a little bit more, give yourself a little bit more breathing space to turn it upfield. Again, what do I know? 3 receivers to the field. At this time we got a 22 look. Deuces. Dolby is screen pass to Ethan Dolby. He's in space. Oh. Look out. Big stiff arm. Down to the 15. Stays about inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. Ethan Dolby. The Dolby train keeps chugging downfield. Gain of about 32 on that play.
And there's that center screen that we saw them try to run earlier to no avail. When they go to watch this in film, they're going to try and point out to Dolby to try and stay in the middle of the field because that's where his blockers are. But when you're an athlete like he is, if you get one-on-one with a defensive back, that player is not taking you down. The beautiful stiff arm, the big tree trunk legs running, you're not going to take him down with one defender, especially not a defensive back.
First and goal here for the Mustangs. Jet sweep, handoff to Noah Amaral. He's got a little bit of the edge to the 5-yard line, to the 3. In for the junior Mustang. Touchdown! Mustangs on the jet sweep. Noah Amaral. Lead block, Ethan Dolby.
And heck of a job by the fullback lining up in a tight end-like position along with the slot back to not only double team, the defensive end gives them the edge, but then the receiver gets off that block to make the next level block. Gives the running back the lane to punch it in. That is blocking at its finest in space.
Producer Stephanie, thank you for rolling this again. Look at the block downfield by number 14, Charlie Smith. Kids, get downfield. Make the blocks if you're a receiver. What are you going to do to stay on the other 45 plays when you haven't got the ball? That's what you do. You get downfield. You make a block, and you let your running back get into the end zone for the big touchdown. 1:21 left. Ball is bobbled. Baker's with it. He's going for the deuce here. He is in for the 2-point conversion on the bobbled snap. Mack attack. Baker with the 2-point conversion. 25 for your junior Mustangs. 20 for the Cambridge Lions. That is a 3-point swing.
There you go.
On extra points. That is going to come back and be a storyline in this game as we're approaching the fourth quarter.
And we mentioned it on the junior Mustang standpoint. The penalties are what kind of held them back a bit in that first half. But for Cambridge, it was on specials that really was biting them, and that story continues. As you mentioned, you missed the PAT, and then you let Mac Baker, albeit an incredible player, get the bobbled fire snap, take it in the end zone for the extra 2 there.
So again, we saw Baker make a big play in the first game to kind of seal the deal. Big play in this game to give the Junior Mustangs a 5-point lead. I know it doesn't sound like much, but there's a big difference between 4 and 5 in the CFL game when extra points, rouges, and safeties for field position start creeping into this game as field time goes on.
Well, 4 or 5, let alone 3 if Baker couldn't make anything out of that play,
Yeah.
and they got no points on that. So a heck of a job by him, once again, making a little something out of nothing there.
So number 21 is in to kick for the Mustangs. I got that down as Carter Melville. I'm sure Carter Melville is not kicking. I know that kid. That's not him. Big kick downfield, taken at the 10-yard line, across to the 20, trying to get to the edge. Good angle on there. Got to break down on there. Coach Snyder's not going to be happy with that squeeze tackle. Brings it all the way back to the 39-yard line. First down, Lions. Huge kickoff.
Yeah, there's number 86, Chase Judge. We've seen the Mustangs do what they can to not put the kickoffs into the hands of those Cambridge returners, whether it's, as we said, schematically thinking that they have an opportunity to recover a ball sort of pooched into an open area, or just being afraid of a big return. Clearly, Chase, a pretty solid returner in his own right there.
Pacan with the coverage on that. He's got to get outside leverage on that a little bit better. 3-by-2, handoff. This is coming the reverse. Here it goes again. This time, nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. Wrapped up in the backfield by number 5. That is Kyler Park from Elgin, Elmer Elgin, East Elgin High School. I know what I mean.
Well, but a heck of an adjustment by him, because we saw the Lions run a similar play in the first half, and he didn't keep his contain. He got sucked in by the power O game running away from him and gave up his contain. Incredible job to stay in his lane, read the play, and funnel that ball carrier back into the middle of the field.
Gain of about 3 on that play. Thank you for taking over for my lack of English skills at that particular case. 3 receivers to the top of the field with the tight end. No tight end, so we got 22. Look for the little swing pass. Yeah, they had it down. They had the screen going out here to number 3, and they're trying to hit that inside screen as well. This time the Mustangs recognized it, mud rushed it. He threw that into the ground. You could have had intentional grounding because it wasn't beyond the line of scrimmage, and he wasn't outside the tackle box on that one.
Yeah, we can really see after that first drive where Cambridge was marching the ball downfield, ending in 6 points there, that this Mustang defense has really tightened up to prevent them from any other big plays in this quarter, as we now clock winds down to the end of the third, I should say.
Okay, again, man on side. Number 17 is on side position. This time he stays behind them. Pooch punt. Taken up on the fly. You got to be, where's the no yards call on that? I don't understand that one. Nethersall with the return. Virtually no gain. Ball's at the 37-yard line. I want to see this replay. I think he's inside the 5-yard bubble on this when he gets this.
It's
real close.
It's
real
as close. As it gets, yeah. And, mentioning that onside player, that's 17, Amokihini, that's had a great game for them running the ball as well. So you got to be worried about a player with his abilities if he's eligible to recover a ball there.
Coach, sometimes when you put 4 fingers in the air, it means the 4 horsemen of wrestling. Sometimes it means it's fourth quarter time. It's the fourth quarter here. That was a heck of a third quarter late there, especially for the Mustangs. Noah Amaral with the touchdown. Mac Baker with the 2-point conversion after Cambridge had taken the lead. 25 for the Junior Mustangs, 20 for the Cambridge Lions. Beginning of the fourth quarter. What a team's got to do here to hammer this victory out.
Well, it's far from a done deal for the Mustangs. Obviously, it's a tight ball game here, but they're going to obviously stick with that run game. It's not only been what's been their bread and butter, but that chews the clock up. I think that's going to be where they go with.
Popular set, 32-42 coming across. Quick screen. Oh! And it's picked off this time. Intercepted by the Cambridge Lions. We called for that Skinny post to the wide side of the field. The over-adjustment was there. It was short-hopped a little bit. Great job. That ball does not hit the ground. That is a great interception by number 23 for the Cambridge Lions, and they are back in business at the 36-yard line. First down, Lions.
Yeah, and 23, we've seen him come in on those short yardage situations at the quarterback position. And as you highlighted, just a quintessential example of you play to the whistle. No whistle, that ball is live.
2-by-2 set. Cambridge Lions back to pass. Pressure coming. There's a holding call. No flag on there. Throws it out of bounds. You got a couple different flags that could have been called on that. Incomplete pass is the ruling. Second down, Cambridge.
Yeah, I like yourself saw a hold, but no flag on that one. So a bit precarious there.
Well, then you also did see, but you didn't see it on the highlight. There could have been a late hit on the quarterback as well, so it would have been pretty close to offsetting penalties.
Yeah.
Regardless, refs are blowing the whistle in on that. Adjust the ball. Second down and 10 for the Lions. 25-20, Junior Mustangs lead. OSFL Varsity Playoff action here. A little bit of slice action happening. Handoff inside to big number 31. Thought the ball came out. It did not. It's going to be short of a first down. Gain of about 8 on the play is number 31 for the Cambridge Lion, Jonathan Ginters, the ball carrier.
Yeah, good patience to find his hole, but a couple missed tackles there by the Junior Mustangs gave him the opportunity to turn what should have been a small gain into a much bigger gain. We got short coming up here.
Well, the big boy packages come back in for the Cambridge Lions. Mustangs also counter with some extra beef on there. 3rd and 1 here for the Lions. Under center, straight ahead. It's going to be enough for a Cambridge first down. Good surge on that. First down, Cambridge. Ball's going to be placed at the 25-yard line. So hard to stop on that, Zach.
Yeah, no, especially we talk about this Canadian game getting that extra yard, that it's almost as much about just exerting your will on the other team. If you can't get that with your offensive line, it's just a bad reflection in terms of the sort of the flow of the game, the momentum. Being able to stop that, that's huge. But as we see, Cambridge gets the first down on the precipice of the 20-yard line now.
1st and 10 for the Lions. Ball's at the 25-yard line. 3 to the field, 2 to the boundary. A little bit of motion action happening in here. Inside handoff to number. This time he pulls it. He's got a man in the end zone. Throwing it out of bounds. Good pressure by the Mustangs. Pass falls incomplete. Peter Bringy bringing the heat on that particular play.
Yeah, great job all around being able to not only lock down the potential run there, but great coverage on the back end, giving the QB nowhere to throw except where it ended up out of bounds.
Zach Chico Hepburn on the coverage, the graduate of Lucas High School. I believe he's going to Fanshawe and playing Beefeaters in the fall. Another really, really talented player for these Junior Mustangs. 3 receivers to the field, fullback in there. So 4 receivers to the field. Ace is on there, throwing that bubble pass that was thrown behind him. Nowhere to go, makes the first man miss. Not the second or the third man. Throwing down for a big loss on that play. Loss of about 9 on that play, on that screen play. 3rd down for the Lions.
Yeah, and great job rallying to the ball quick by the defense there. Sometimes it takes not 1, 2, but 3 guys to take down the man.
Peter Bringy, the first man in there. We just called him play. He does a great job staying with it. And again, Rasheem Blackson from the corner position coming downfield on that. So, Cambridge, do you have a kicker or are you playing for a 2-point lead? Tick-tock goes the clock. 9:24 left. Cambridge offense still out there. 4 receivers to the field. 1 to the boundary. Timeout, Junior Mustangs. Zach, you got 9:18 left, 4th quarter. You are 3rd and short of the country mile. And we're going to call it 3rd and about 17, 18 here. Doing my math, 3rd and 18. What do you have any third down and 18 plays in your offensive playbook? I don't have many of them.
Well, we have seen them use that wheel route effectively with the running back coming out of the backfield for that touchdown earlier in the game to net them a big touchdown. In this situation, though, I'd imagine between the first matchup and then the amount of game that's been played already today, there's not much the Junior Mustangs haven't seen from this Cambridge Lions offense. So it'll be interesting to see what they go with here.
Do you run a draw and try to get some yards or something? You're not going for it on third down here just to give the ball down. You want to get the first down. You want to score. You got to start counting possessions here. You got 9 minutes left. There's probably 2, maybe 3 possessions each. If the Mustangs go down and score off of a stop here, that could be pretty much game over at that point. So again, 4 receivers to the field, 1 to the boundary, press coverage on the boundary. We see that. Back to pass, going across the middle. Pass is intercepted by the Mustangs. Number 23 for London. That is Khalid Shahir with the pick. First down, London on the 11. I'd almost want him to drop that down.
I was just going to say, that ball was right in the breadbasket. It's almost impossible for him to not, but the net result, of course, is your offense getting the ball some 20 yards deeper in your own end than you would have in just batting it down, as you suggested, and getting the turnover on down.
And by the way, I tell a lie. That was number 13 with the pick, Mac Baker, the Western commit. He's coming back to haunt them with an interception late. First down for the Mustangs. 9 minutes left to go. Fourth quarter, 25-20. First down, London. Handoff to Dolby straight ahead, grinding the yards out. Gain of about 7 yards on that play. Brings up second down.
Well, after that last possession by the Mustangs ended up in the quick interception, you know that they're really going to want to attack the ball on the ground to be able to chew up as much of the clock as they can in this situation. 5-point lead, 8:52 left in the fourth.
Amaral comes out. Nethersall comes in to replace him. Give Dolby 8 yards on that. Second down and 2. 3 receivers to the field. 1 to the boundary. Fullback over on the right. Motion in. This time it's a little step-off screen. Trying to hit. Don't like the play call, coach. Throwing down for a loss of a couple on that was Nethersall. Loss of 3, bringing up third down. I was just about to say, boy, oh boy, first down, you start counting them at this point. Big stop by the Lions.
Yeah, sometimes those quick bubble screens are essentially a run if you get it out there quick enough, but the receiver that was lead blocking just missed the first man in there. If he even got a piece of them, might have given the ball carrier some room to make something happen, but you got to get your head turned around, find the first defender in the wrong colored jersey, and get hands on him.
So now do you start playing the field position game? You're up 5, you take a safety, you're still up 3. I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, we'll see. And
apparently I'm
Right.
saying. Wasting clock. Good job. Rivard concedes the safety. Put 2 on there for the Cambridge Lions. Exactly 8 minutes left in this heavyweight contest here at Alumni Field, the campus of Western Ontario. 25 Junior Mustangs, 22 Cambridge Lions. Lions will scrimmage with the ball at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, with so much time left in the game, I guess you're banking on the idea that if you do kick it away, well, this Cambridge team has shown some really good things offensively, and you don't want to risk them giving up the 6 and getting the 7 back. But, it'll be interesting to see now. We got a 1-score game. Cambridge getting the ball.
So they're going to kick. Cambridge is elected to have them kick the ball off. So free kick it from the 35-yard line. Cambridge is counting on having the ball inside the 40. Let's see if the math gamble adds up for them. And again, big leg kicker out there. He drove this ball to the 10-yard line last time. So, they better back up another step or two, or this ball has the potential to go over their heads where the returners are lined up. Ball is placed in the middle of the field. Ball is driven downfield, and it's kicked, and it's driven down inside, picked up at the 15-yard line. Cambridge with a little bit of a wall here to the 35, to the 40. Big tackle by number 24, Blackson, on the tackle. Takes the ball to the 42-yard line. First down, Lions.
You know, he does a great job of making the tackle, but more importantly, what he does that's so important there is being able to get outside and set that edge. He makes the tackle, yes, but even if he didn't, he was funneling the ball carrier back into a number of his teammates who, if he didn't make that tackle, no doubt would have made it very quickly. Great job of knowing his responsibility on that kickoff.
Great kick downfield on that. Good position for the Cambridge Lions. You saw the little return. You saw the wall build up, and you saw the alley for the Lions. 3 receivers motion to the boundary here, looking for that late man coming out. Complete to number 18, I believe it was. Goes beyond the 40-yard line to about the 46. Second down, Lions on the little swing pass.
Yeah, number 18, Ethan Avelli. We haven't been calling his name in this game. Mostly you've been seeing go down in the offensive pass game for the Cambridge Lions. Trying to switch it up a bit here perhaps in the fourth quarter, show a different look than they haven't seen already.
Really good coverage in the secondary there. That was the number 2 that came over. That was Zach Hepburn that picked up the number 3 coming over. And we called his name in the second half a little bit here. Good to see him getting in there. Pressure coming off the edge. McLennan with the pressure. This time Delberg downfield forces the pass out of bounds.
And a great catch on the sideline by offensive line coach and offensive lineman for the Western Mustangs, Philip Grahovic. I love seeing a Hoggy make a play with the ball in the air.
Big Phil with the soft hands on that. Look at that. Going up. Look at that. High point the ball. Understand that. Elbows high so nobody can come in. You couldn't coach it better.
Well, but you know, it actually shouldn't be a surprise because if you were watching Western Mustang football this past season, he actually scored a touchdown for them when they played Windsor. They put him in at tight end and they ran him on a little corner route. So it shouldn't surprise us actually that Grahovic's got the soft hands there. We've seen it.
6:50 left in the fourth quarter. Oh boy, they had something going on there.
Timeout taken by Cambridge.
Yeah, Cambridge called the timeout. They had some slice action going across there with one of the guys. And I wouldn't be surprised if they had some type of fake coming out with the pass there because they still got guys out there who are playmakers. Number 3 for the Cambridge Lions, Damian, how do you pronounce it?
Plausta?
Pulowski, we're going to call it, or Plausta. Coach Stephen Paul is going to absolutely butcher me online for this. Stevie, I'm so sorry. It's a long day. It's late. Yeah, give me a break. I do have a job.
But nonetheless, with the Mustangs getting the ball back, 6:50 here, we saw them, as you said, play the math game, giving up the 2 points to be able to put Cambridge a little deeper. It seems like so far it's paying off for them, getting the ball back. Let's see how much of the clock they can chew, perhaps even put some more points back up on the board.
Well, 6:50 left to go in the fourth quarter. Here we go. Onside man. This time they're punting it to that side. Ball falls, and it's picked up at the 35-yard line with a straight head of steam. Goes beyond to the 40 to about the 42-yard line. I want to say Nethersall was the return. Or no, that was Mac Baker, number 13, with the return. First down, London at the 42, 6:38. So now you got to start counting first downs. Every first down is going to be about 45, 50 seconds. You need to run the clock. You want to get about 3 first downs, take about 2.5 minutes off of that. 3 first downs is going to put you about the 40-yard line. You can punt that, and all of a sudden now you've got about 3 minutes left and a lot of field to work with. Then you can play defense. But you need at least 2 or 3 first downs to really put Cambridge in a world hurt. Inside handoff to Dolby. What a surprise. Makes the first man go. Hey, guess what? There's your first down beyond midfield to about the 54-yard line on the straight-ahead handoff. Ethan Dolby running hard.
Yeah, and no pulling guard, no nothing. That's just straight downhill inside zone. And they give him a little space, let the running back find the gap, and he hits it hard. And as we've seen already, it's hard to take down Dolby with 1, sometimes even 2 guys. He's got those big legs churning. picking up a big gain.
You almost wedged that a little bit. They almost went with almost like a narrow split, what we would call a Frodo look. So all you're doing is narrowing it down. Frodo means hobbit, so narrow splits, kids, if you're listening. And you're just basically running straight ahead wedge on that from a pistol. So I really like the play design. You know, you're looking for the puller and you want to fill on that. All of a sudden, what we would call a Dave call, everyone's got a man on. You're just straight ahead blocking on that. Narrow the splits down and just do a little bit of power running game on that. Big run by Dolby. Gets it to midfield. So the ball is placed on the 55-yard line. First down, London. Again, injury timeout. We're just waiting. This just looks like a cramp, unfortunately, for the offensive linemen, the way that they're stretching things out here. And again, it is a really hot and sticky night. You know, thank you very much for joining us. 6:04 left to go in the fourth quarter. The very first ever Varsity OSFL Playoff game here. Where else would you want to be? The only game in the province, I would add, to this evening.
Yeah, and we talked about it a bit in the intro. Two very prideful football communities that have been battling one another for several years now, coming off of COVID, back with summer football, as you mentioned, the inaugural OSFL season. This is more than just a football game. This is for these communities that have been working so hard to keep these programs afloat and be able to show who's been really keeping in the work, not just on the player side, but the community, the coaches, everyone involved.
We talked about it a little bit at the earlier set. These two teams, these two particular teams, these group of kids, they really know each other. Cambridge and London, they just really don't like each other. We respect each other, but we don't like you, So first down and 10 here. 22 look with the fullback over on the right. Play is whistled in. Handoff to Dolby. What a surprise. Breaking it over the right side. Gain of 10 yards. Keeps driving inside the 40. Gain of about 15 yards. Guess what? Those body blows are starting to add up. Ethan Dolby having himself a day.
Yeah, and this is nothing we haven't seen before. There goes the guard. Kicks out the end. Fullback leads up the middle, and Dolby does the rest for the pay dirt.
Oh, boy. And number 35 for the Cambridge Lions get absolutely dummied by his own guy there. I hope he's going to be okay. I don't want to see that replay again because that was a little bit high on the shoulders. It's good to see. I think he's moving fine. Everything's good with that. But a big hit there. Ethan, like we talked about, why do you run those inside plays earlier in the game? It's kind of like those jabs, those body blows in a heavyweight boxing match. You're seeing a heavyweight fight out there tonight. And really, those jabs that were delivered in the first half by both teams are really starting to pay dividends for your offense. The offensive lines are really, really teeing off. Guys, it is harder to play defense in heat when you have to react to an offensive lineman when they're leaning on you than it is to play offense. When you're offense, you get to lean on somebody. This is big boy football. This is when you're like, hey, we got 5 minutes left in this game. We need a couple more first downs. Let's go. Run the ball behind me. I want to go and smack somebody. Let's lean on them. Get this game going a little bit. And again, Cambridge player walking off under his own power, number 35. Everything appears to be fine with him. Ethan Lewis was the Lion who was on that. So again, 3 receivers to the boundary and the fullback. This time Nether saw one cut jump off to the races, to the 15, to the 20, inside the 15-yard line to about the 13. Change of pace back. Kanye Nethersall out of South High School in London. Big play over the right-hand side. First down, London.
And a great job by the running back, keeping his shoulders square, going through the hole. That's giving him extra vision to be able to see that cutback lane available for him. He could have put his shoulder down, picked up a nice 5, 6, 7 yards there, just following his guard. But being able, as I said, keeping his shoulders square, is able to give him more peripheral vision, see that cutback lane available.
Good drive, impressive drive here. Chewing up some clock as well, but the London Mustangs are looking for a touchdown more than anything. Dolby in the backfield, handoff over the right-hand side. Corralled by a herd of Lions on that after a gain. I'm going to say about 2 on that over the right-hand side. Second down, London.
Yeah, great job by that defensive end. on the boundary side, able to fight through the two blockers to be able to make the tackle. That's a tough play on the offensive line to be able to get that edge. Great job by the defender to make a play.
And a really good job blocking that time by number 6, Kverjovic. That time he didn't have the hands outside the cylinder. Got them inside, no holding call, and it was a gain of about 3 on the play. So we're going to bring up 2nd down and 7. Ball is at the 14-yard line for the Mustangs. 4:10 left to go, 4th quarter. Jet sweep action coming over here on the left-hand side. Gets to the 10, into the 5. We got a late flag up there. 22, that is Noah Amaral with the jet sweep. It's going to be a 1st down, depending on the flag. I think we're going to have a hold downfield, unfortunately.
Yeah, those outside zone plays are often ripe for those types of plays when you get the defense moving so fast and so hard laterally. But great job now. We've seen Dolby calling his name a ton in the run game with the ball in his hands. Looks like we had him out there, lead blocking a bit there as well.
Holding against the Mustangs. It's going to go back 10 yards. Trying to decide if it was after yards gained or not, though, in the hold. It is. It's going to be after yards gained. Move it back 10 yards. I hate to say this, but you actually don't mind this if you're the Mustangs. It's 1st and 10. You get to chew up more clock now, you know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Less time to give the Cambridge Lions an opportunity to score a touchdown themselves.
But again, the clock does stop on the penalty. 4 minutes, 1 second left. 25-22. Ball is at the, we're going to call it the 15-yard line, 14.5-yard line for the Mustangs. Handoff straight ahead to Dolby, makes the first man miss, keeps his legs driving inside the 5, inside the 3. Flag on the play.
Number 9,
Ethan Dolby with, it's going to be enough for a 1st down, but there's a flag on the play at the 1-yard line. Are they going to call an illegal man downfield? Or
it looked like a block in the back perhaps on 61 there.
That's ticky-tacky.
Yeah,
that's away from the play. Waiting for clarification. It's absolutely going against London, though.
Yeah, that's tough as the offensive lineman when you're engaged with your man and his back turns to you. When you're in the box, normally that won't get called. Once you're getting downfield, it's a bit easier to see, and that's where those flags will come out. But it's tough when you're in that mindset of just being in an absolute fist fight with the guy across from you, and then he turns his back to you all of a sudden.
Well, holding against the Mustangs after yards gained. 1st down, and Mustangs, 14-yard line. Reset the clock and go. You get to chew up another 45, 50 seconds here. Inside handoff to Ethan Dolby. Straight ahead. Gets it inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line. Gain of about 4 on the play. 2nd down, London.
Yeah, and this is where, as we've talked about all game long, those body blows really come back to pay dividends for you being able to just run the ball, exert your will on the other team there.
If you're Cambridge, you have to sell out to stop this play. You can give up the field goal. You can absolutely not at this point give up the touchdown.
And as we approach the 3-minute warning, that'll buy them an extra timeout of sorts here.
3 minutes left to go in the game. Quick pass over into the flats here. 2 eyes from White to number 6, Kverjovic. Dancing around. Hard to see from our angle where they're going to place the ball. I think he's going to be just short. We're going to have a 3rd down and about 2 here for the Mustangs. Decision time. Game on the line for both teams here. As, boy, oh boy, everyone is just hot and just taking helmets off. 3-minute warning here. We got a couple injured players down here for the Cambridge Lions. Coach, what do you got?
Well, first and foremost, worth noting that Cambridge used 1 timeout already.
So has London.
So let's play through the scenarios. You kick it, you go up 6 points in this situation, about 2.5 minutes. Cambridge with 1 timeout, needing to score. But if they do get the touchdown, of course, that gives them the opportunity to take the lead with not much time, theoretically, in that example. Or you go for it And if you don't get the score or you don't pick up the first down, well, then you're getting Cambridge to have to drive the full field with only one timeout. And once again, about 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Either way, all I know is that we're in for a heck of a finish here.
Decision has been made. 3rd down and about 2 from the 4-yard line. Quarterback, big number 12, Cam Siebold in. He's more of the runner. And his direct handoff. This time it's pitched back to number 11. Tyler Tierney going to throw the halfback option. Overthrows it.
They
tried for the Philly special.
Oh, it looked
and
like
he overthrows it. He walks into the end zone if he keeps it himself. Tyler, get the edge. You've got the first down. You've given the Cambridge Lions life. 2:38. I like the call. I don't love the call. Son, put your head down, run. I think you walk into the end zone if you run it too.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Well, we had about 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3 there. Opportunity to stick with the bread and butter, run it up the middle. You might score anyways. You might just pick up the first down. Ideally, the first down there without the score is even better. As you were talking about, you get to chew more clock. As it happens, Cambridge is a full field in front of them. One timeout, 2:38 remaining in the ballgame.
107 yards to go, 2:38 left. Handoff on the inside, makes the first man miss, makes the second man miss, spins down outside the 15-yard line, keeps driving to about the 20. First down, Lions.
Just getting out of the shadow of your own goalpost. That's the first thing. You can't think about what you call the 107. You can't look at the 107. You just got to look at that first down, get a little space away from your goal line. Now they have space that opens up so much more of the playbook. Great job opening this drive.
Well, your 107 is now 90.
Yeah.
So, big chunky yards, and clock is running. 2:21 left. 4th quarter, little freeze action. Nobody biting here. Clock is not the friend of the Cambridge Lions. This time it's an inside draw play. Handoff, trying to bust it straight ahead. Takes it beyond the 30 to about the 33-yard line. First down, Lions.
Yeah, and it looks like number 69 there for the Cambridge Lions. Joseph Corman getting downfield. You'd like to see the big man just keep on moving and get on a body there. Could have made that big play even bigger, but as it stands, another first down for the Lions.
So you need to get to about the 25-yard line to make it a realistic field goal attempt. Just saying. So a lot of yards to go. 3-by-2, looking for that slant pattern. Pass falls incomplete, little bit overthrown, intended for Damien again, and it falls incomplete. Second down, Lions.
And the most we've seen with the kicker for the Lions is with that PAT that got blocked. We don't really have a sense of the range at this point in the game, but obviously we do have a sense that the junior Mustangs can get after the kick.
Well, let's see what you got in the playbooks here. Someone call timeout? No, not yet. Oh, moving it back a half yard. Okay, so second down and 10. 1:55 left in the game here. Cambridge Lions with the ball. Second down at the 32-yard line for the Lions. Back to pass, trying to hit that little screen play. They've got something cooking here. Big number 92 takes it to the 40. It's going to be short of the first down by about 4 yards. 3rd and 4. Game on the line.
Not yet, not to put too fine a point on it, but this is really what it comes down to. Could have been worse for Cambridge. It looks like a missed hold there right in the middle of the action on the offensive line. Let's see what they do to try and pick up the first.
3 to the field, 2 to the boundary. Full tailback comes over to the boundary as well. Pass rush coming, taking a shot downfield. Pass falls incomplete. Turn it over on downs. First down, Mustangs!
And he had his man too. That's just one of those balls as the cue you wish more than anything you could just have had back. And it looks like there's a Lion down in the backfield as well now.
Unfortunately, it looks like it was the quarterback that was back that was a little bit banged up. A couple Mustangs were applying some huge heat on that. Number 18's down as well. I think this is going to be a cramp for him. I just saw him kind of pull up a little bit at the end. 1:36 left. You're not out of the woods yet. You got to get a first down. You need 2, actually, to get to it because Cambridge still has a timeout in their pocket.
Yeah, and you highlight the pressure that the Junior Mustangs brought on that play, and that's always that high risk, high reward in which you are going to put your defensive secondary in those one-on-one positions where we did see the Cambridge player beat his man, but of course you are going to get into a position where hopefully you're rushing the quarterback as they did and forcing him to maybe put a little too much, a little not enough on that ball and make it incomplete.
So how the playoffs work, the Essex Ravens were ranked number 1. They're going to get the lowest seed at home next week, depending on how their game goes, as they play a very tough Myers Riders. The Mustangs will host a game here next weekend if the score holds at the varsity level against the higher ranked seed, whoever's left. You know, a couple of teams are dangerous out there. Beware of the Cumberland Panthers on the varsity side. Watch out Essex Ravens. Watch out London. They're coming. And again, this game is not over yet. This has been a hell of a game. This has been a great game to call. Thank you very much for joining us. This is really our first live stream on Junior Mustangs television this year. You know, it's a lot of energy, a lot of fun. Great game to call, great game to watch. 1:36 left. Fullback over on the right. 3 receivers to the boundary, 1 to the field. Guess who's in the backfield? Any guess what there's going to happen on this particular play?
I was thinking maybe a little power O to the left side here.
Oh, here we go. Hand off to Dolby. Makes the first man miss. Keeps churning his legs after contact. 2 hands on the ball. Brings it to the 35-yard line. Gain of 5 on the play. 2nd down, London.
And the Mustangs may have got a little lucky there. It looked like 1 or 2 of their offensive linemen kind of twitched a little bit beforehand with the way the refs have kind of been throwing the flag. You might have been pushing your luck on that one, but as it stands, great gain there.
Tick-tock goes the clock. 1:20 left. Mustangs looking for first downs. Keep the ball out of the hands of the Lions. Isaac White is the quarterback. He's gone distance to distance. Hand off to Dolby. Inside run. Gain of about 2 yards on the play. Bringing up 3rd down.
Great job by Cambridge rallying to the ball.
Dolby with the carry. That'll bring up a 3rd down Mustangs.
3rd and about 3 here is what I'm calling. So, do you keep the offense out? 106, do you just burn down 20 seconds here and call your timeout?
I think that's probably the first step you have to make in this situation. Chew up as much of that clock as you can, and then figure it out with the extra time and the timeout.
I think that's exactly what the call is going to be happening. Now, maybe Cambridge has used their last timeout. I don't know. I thought they still had 1 left. Timeout London, 47 seconds left. I think what you're going to see here, I think you're outside Rivard's range. Rivera plays for us. Rivard plays for the Varsities. I think you're outside of his range here because when you move that back 7 yards, you're looking at approximately a 39, 40-yard field goal. In this heat and humidity, that might be a little much. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see some type of pooch punt, try to get the ball inside the 10-yard line, maybe kick it out of bounds, try to pin them deep, and make them go the distance with probably, 40 seconds left.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see if he can keep it inside the 10 if possible.
So Rivard is back to punt, drives the ball down. Ball bounces about the 5-yard line. It is touched by the Mustangs. That's going to be a 15-yard penalty. Ball is going to come out to about the 20 here. Cambridge Lions ball, 37 seconds left to go. 90 yards, Coach. You need to get about 65, 70 in 37 seconds.
We've definitely seen crazier things happen on the gridiron. Perhaps as perfect a punt as you could have. Of course, a slightly unfortunate bounce given where the gunner was that it ended up making contact with him, but a really great job being able to have that ball stop within the 10. Of course, as we saw, unfortunate that it ended up touching the Junior Mustang player.
37 seconds left to go, 25-22. Junior Mustangs want to thank Adam and Stephanie Melrose for producing our camera crews. Great job, Zach, yourself. Thank you very much. And the fans here, just a fantastic night of football. Lions with the ball, trying to hit that out pass. Good job of catching it. Gain of about 8 yards on the play. Second down, Lions.
Yeah, and there's Godin on that out route that we've seen him run all game long.
Out of bounds, stops the clock. That's important. 33.3 seconds left. It's a 3-point lead. The missed extra point, the 2-point conversion,
That's
the
it
3
right there.
points. Back to pass on the mesh route. It is caught. It's going to be enough for a Cambridge first down.
Huge hit by number 7, Wes McLennan.
McLennan cleans it up. Ball's on the 32-yard line. 28.6 left to go. Lions ball. Driving here.
Interesting decision to hit the crossing route there. Obviously, it gives them the first down. Usually in this situation, middle of the field would be open. We're seeing Cambridge, I guess, take that timeout. Normally, you get the middle of the field open because the team's going to say, if you want to get those yards, go ahead, but you have to burn a timeout. If you have one, normally you're trying to get to the sideline, get the ball out of bounds if possible.
This has been a fantastic game. You hate to see a loser come out of this, but we talked about the kind of the 3 miscues that happened in this game. The missed extra point, the punt snap, and the 2-point conversion for the Mustangs.
Yeah.
That's 6 points. Take those off the board, Cambridge is a 3-point lead, and they're killing the clock here.
Yeah.
So every little play, it's amazing how one play, which seems insignificant at the moment, has such a huge impact on the game, how you call it and how it's played out. So Mustangs looking to rush 3 receivers to the field, 1 to the boundary. Ball is batted down, or is it picked off? It was batted down, incomplete. Number 17 bringing the heat. That is Andre Gabriel bringing the heat off the edge, along with big number 44. We called his name a number of times, Marcus Robinson.
It's one thing when you're getting pressure with 5. It's one thing when you're getting pressure with 4. When you get pressure with 3, that's just an offensive line coach's nightmare right there.
Pass and incomplete. Clock was stopped. 23.5 seconds left to go. Second down, Lions. Back to pass. Feeling the pressure, rolling out to the left. He's got a little bit of running room downfield. Gets out of bounds, out about the 45-yard line. First down, Lions. And a late flag out there as well.
Yeah, that might be the benefit of it happening on the Cambridge sideline and having everyone up in arms with that contact there. Nonetheless, if you're that Mustang defender, you know that he's going out of bounds. He wants to stop the clock. Why risk adding anything extra on there by putting a hit on him? 15-yard
penalty. The ball is going to be placed at midfield. Okay? So now you need 20 yards in 15.4 seconds, actually in 15.2 seconds. You got to get to the 30-yard line minimum. 35, you want about 25 yards to have a realistic chance to bring the game into overtime. Back to pass, Lions, pressure coming. This time, big Frenchie, Andre, he brings the heat again. Defensive end, sack on the play. 10.3 seconds left. Look at the pressure coming from the 3-man rush from the Mustangs. Line up, do it again. 10.3 seconds left. Clock is running. Second down and long here for the Lions. Flags on the play everywhere. Pass falls incomplete, but there is a flag on the play. 0.9 seconds left. Clock is stopped with the flag. What is the call?
Going back to that sack, an incredible job on the edge, but really, we're seeing what the call is here.
Objectional conduct against London. Did they call a bench penalty against the Mustangs? Are you kidding me? Move it up 15 yards. The ball is placed at the 42-yard line. 0.9 seconds left.
How else could this game come to a close?
Sure,
right?
why not?
We're 0.9 seconds on the clock. Mustangs up by 3. Cambridge with the ball. What else do you want right now, right?
Cambridge Lions strut out the field goal unit for the 48-yard field goal attempt.
But just going back to that sack quickly, a great job off the edge, but the middle defender really drawing in a lot of that pressure, setting up that one-on-one matchup on the edge.
They're looking hard. They're looking hard. Last play of the game. 48-yard field goal attempt. Almost 49 of where the spot is. For the tie and to bring the game into overtime. Snap is down. The kick is up. It is no good. Baker takes it out. Falls down. That is your ball game. London Junior Mustangs 25, Cambridge Lions 22. What a ball game!
What a ball game indeed. We saw the ups, we saw the downs, we saw the trading of haymakers, we saw each team effectively run the game, being able to pass the game. We saw the Mustangs have trouble with some of the penalties, Cambridge having some difficulties on the specials, but at the end of the day, both teams put themselves in a position to win this game, and it just, to quote the great Tim McAuliffe, we just ran out of time here, Ron.
Wow. There's not many times in my broadcasting life or in any other life that I've kind of been held speechless. There are kids falling down, cramping up like crazy down there. The emotion, the effort let's cut it straight, from both teams. Cambridge Lions came in and did a great job of battling. This is not what I want to see. I don't want to see both teams getting together like this at midfield. Get out of here. There you go. Throw in your helmet. I don't like that kind of stuff. These young men are upset. I get that. But we don't want to egg them on. This has been a hell of a game. It has been a classy game. Shake your hands. Get out of here. Stay classy. Yeah, I think this is smart. I think you're better off cooler heads to prevail on this one.
Yeah, and if you're Cambridge, there's nothing to hang your head on this game, let alone this season. They battled hard all year long. The combined difference in the scores in the two games, we're looking at 9 points in the two games. The first one going into overtime. You battled the Junior Mustangs hard here in London. Great crowd out here. Great turnout once again. Shout out to the Cambridge football community for coming down the 401 to support your team. And, not the end they want, but a heck of a year by them.
This has been a fantastic ball game. There's so many things I can say other than, Coach KJ, we're thinking about you, and the boys dug down deep for you and pulled it out. Hell of a game. For Coach Zach, I am Rod Forwerda. For the Melroses, for our producers, our camera crew, thank you so much for joining us here on Junior Mustang Television.